Chapter 1919. Everyone knows how precious Little Nether Sun is. It is not strange that Qin Yun is interested in it. Elderly of the heaven-suppressing sect had sacrificed his dragon pearl because he wanted to obtain the Little Nether Sunday, sect master Qin. Dragon pearl is indeed very precious, but the value of my Little Nether Sun is much higher than the dragon pearl. Ancient Devil Ox laughed and said, "So forget it. Senior Ox Devil, it was you who took the initiative to use Little Nether Sun to bet with the dragon pearl. Why are you unwilling now?" Qin Yun said. Previously, it was the ancient Devil Ox who used Little Nether Sun to bet with heaven-suppressing sect. Now that Qin Yun wants to bet with him, he says that Little Nether Sun's value is higher than the dragon pearl. Ancient Devil Ox's meaning is very clear. He feels that the dragon pearl is not enough. The main reason is because our chances of winning are not high. Ancient Devil Ox looked at Lu Yu and Shu Yan, who is not beside Qin Yun, and said with smile, "This young lady is so powerful. My ancient heaven clan has no match. Then how about this? I won't let her fight. Is that okay?" Qin Yun feels that his or Yang Shuyue's strength is not bad. It is possible for them to win. Ancient Devil Ox shook his head, looked at Yang Shuyue, and said again, "This young lady's strength should also be very strong. I can feel a very terrifying power inside her body." Now the ancient Devil Ox is very cautious. That's why he very seriously sensed the power inside Yang Shuyue's body. Yang Shuyue has the Nether Moon. She is indeed very strong. Qin Yun spread out his hands and said with smile, "Then only I can fight?" Heaven-suppressing sect and ancient heaven clan people all know that Qin Yun is an inscription master. Even if inscription masters are very strong, their battle strength is very limited. If only sect master Qin fights, then we still have a good chance of winning. Ancient Devil Ox said with smile. So it turns out that I'm actually so weak in Senior Ox Devil's eyes. Qin Yun laughed at himself. That's not it. You are a very powerful inscription master. I am very sure of this. Ancient Devil Ox said with smile. Sect Master Qin, your chances of winning are also very high. Qin Yun nodded and said, "All right then, I will fight." Ancient Devil Ox did not immediately agree. He hesitated for a moment and said, "Sect Master Qin, how about adding another divine universe amethyst? This way, if Ancient Heaven Clan wins, they can obtain the Dragon Pearl and Divine Universe Purple Crystal." This caused everyone to exclaim in admiration. The Ancient Ox Devil had made a good plan. If he wanted to win the most in one go. If the Ancient Bull Devil only won one Dragon Ball, it would be considered a loss. After all, they had obtained the Dragon Ball from the Heaven-suppressing sect. On the Heaven Suppression Gate side, many elders did not wish for Qin Yun to agree. Qin Yun agreed. Once he lost, the Dragon Pearl and Divine Universe Amethyst would all belong to the ancient Heaven race. If the Heaven Old race were to obtain these things, it would be a huge threat to the Heaven Suppressing School. Although they were not enemies with the Heaven Old race, they did not wish to see the Heaven Old race be too much stronger than them. The next person to fight in the Heaven Old race will definitely be the Ancient Bull Demon. Elder Pang said, "Leader Qin, please consider carefully. The Ancient Bull Demon is one of the 4 great rankers of the Heaven Ancient race." Qin Yun guessed that the Ancient Ox Fiend would be the one to fight. He does not know how strong the Ancient Ox Fiend is, so he hesitated. The Ancient Ox Fiend is a beast man. He combined the advantages of humans and beasts. In addition, he holds a high position in the Ancient Heaven race and obtained a lot of cultivation resources. The energy inside his life crystal is definitely very strong. Generally speaking, an expert like the Ancient Ox Devil would have converted almost all of the immortal Emperor power inside his life crystal into saint power. He is only one step away from becoming a saint. Yang Shuryu and Lu Yu Shuyan have never seen Qin Yun's strength at the 9th level of the immortal Emperor realm. However, they know that Qin Yun is definitely very strong, so they will not interfere with Qin Yun's decision. Qin Yun really wants the Little Nether Sun because he wants to cultivate Ling Yin and have her turn into a spirit with flesh and blood. Ling Yin also said that if she also had a Little Nether Sun, she would be able to make Qin Yun even stronger. Before becoming a saint, if one wants to increase their strength and make themselves comparable to a saint transformation expert, they can only obtain more energy. This way, they can even be stronger than some experts who have just become saints. Qin Yun faced the divine Cosmos Evil Dragon before and felt that he is still too weak. If he has a little nether son, he won't be in such a sorry state when facing the divine Cosmos Evil Dragon again. The ancient Ox Devil also gave Qin Yun time to consider. After all, this kind of decision needs to be carefully considered. If Qin Yun loses, he will lose the Dragon Pearl and the Divine Universe Amethyst. The gains do not make up for the losses. If you want to obtain good things, you have to bear the risk. The ancient Ox Devil said with a smile. Just like before, if I wanted to obtain the Dragon Pearl, I used the little nether sun to gamble. But you still lost to us, and the Dragon Pearl fell into our hands. Qin Yun said with a smile. So if I want to win it back, I can only take a risk again and use the little nether sun to gamble. If I win this time, I can win it all back. The ancient Ox Devil said with mischievous smile. When I want to gamble, I never hesitate. I lost last time, but the next time, I will definitely win. This is the psychology of gamblers. They always think that they can make a comeback in the next round and win back everything they lost before. All right, I will gamble with you. Qin Yun inhaled a mouthful of air and finally made a decision. He said, "Come, let's sign the soul contract." Everyone shook their heads one after another because no matter the result of this battle, no matter who wins or loses, one side will suffer disastrous losses. Qin Yun knows nothing about the ancient Ox Devil's strength. Even Azure Dragon and the others don't know about it because the ancient Ox Devil very rarely takes action. Elder Pang said, "Sect Master Qin, the ancient Ox Devil has never revealed his strongest strength in front of others. None of us know how strong he is." Elderly groaned and said, "Anyway, this brat is bound to lose. The ancient Ox Devil is a sacred transformation expert." The ancient Ox Devil heard those old men's words and said to Qin Yun with a smile, "Sect Master Qin, you won't change your mind just because of a few words from them, right?" "I won't," Qin Yun said with a smile. Inscription masters can't use weapons during battle. This limits their strength. Powerful inscription masters can refine powerful weapons, as well as all kinds of talismans and tools. Adding their defensive equipment, it is not a problem for them to fight above their level. They can even kill a group of experts. Very soon, the soul contract was signed. "Sect Master Qin, you should be an Inscription Dome Master, right?" The ancient Ox Devil said with a smile. "You can tell." Qin Yun is somewhat amazed. Heaven-suppressing sects people are all emotionally moved. Inscription Dome Masters are very strong. The ancient Ox Devil chuckled and said, "Of course I can tell. Moreover, I also know that you can only draw 4 lines." Qin Yun said with a frown, "How can you tell?" He can even tell that he could draw 4 lines. This caused Qin Yun to be very apprehensive. Heaven-suppressing sects people were exclaiming in admiration just moments ago, but now their faces are filled with disdain. "What? I thought he was a 10-path Inscription Dome Master, but he is only a 4-path Inscription Dome Master. I thought he was very powerful," Elderly said with sneer. 4-path Inscription Dome Master is useless against the ancient Ox Devil. Elder Pang shook his head and said, "If it was 10 lines, his chances of winning would be very high. If it is 4 lines, then forget about it." The ancient Ox Devil chuckled and said, "Sect Master Qin, it is because I can see that the remnant blood spirit power in your finger bones is very thick. My pair of ox eyes can see many things." Senior Ox Devil, it seems like your chances of winning are very high. Qin Yun said with a smile, "I will definitely win this round." The ancient Ox Devil's aura suddenly rushed out. Everyone immediately dispersed. Lu Yushuyin and Yang Shuriwei are very at ease with Qin Yun because he is also a hidden expert. Qin Yun and the ancient Ox Devil are separated by more than 100 meters. Both of them look very calm, but their bodies are releasing a formless, dreadful aura. It is as if they are peerless experts fighting at the peak. "Begin," Lu Yushuyin yelled. At the beginning, The ancient ox devil spread his hands. His 10 fingers moved very quickly, and a light ball suddenly appeared in front of him. Qin Yun rushed over and arrived at the ancient ox devil's side. Just as he was about to attack, the light ball suddenly exploded. Countless lightning bolts burst out from the light ball. Just as Qin Yun was about to attack, he was rammed by the lightning-transformed bull head in a split second. In that split second, Qin Yun felt as if his body is being torn apart. He was sent flying. His body became entangled by many lightning bolts. These lightning bolts are very dreadful. They contain flowing runes. A light ball formed by interweaving lightning bolts is floating in front of the ancient ox devil. These lightning bolts are all runes. Thunder and lightning heavenly rune. Qin Yun is extremely shocked in his heart after being sent flying. The ancient ox devil has mastered thunder and lightning heavenly rune. You are heavenly rune beast, Qin Yun said in shock. That thunder and lightning heavenly rune was carved by me. I am an inscription dome master. The ancient ox devil proudly smiled, then rushed towards Qin Yun and yelled, Sect Master Qin, I am truly sorry. I will definitely win this battle. 10 runes. Moreover, he instantly drew a thunder and lightning heavenly rune. Everyone present is completely shocked by the ancient ox devil's strength, especially the heaven-suppressing sect's elders. Each and every one of them has expression of horror. Qin Yun's body is being entangled by the thunder and lightning heavenly rune. It is as if he is being locked in the sky, unable to budge. When the ancient ox devil rushed over, it transformed the thunder and lightning heavenly rune into a huge axe and chopped down at Qin Yun. When the ancient ox devil raised the huge axe, the ocean below has already been split into 2 halves by the imposing aura. Xiao Yun, Lu Yu Shuyan anxiously yelled. She wants to take action. Qin Yun's body shook. He let out a heaven-shaking and earth-shaking furious roar. It is as if the heaven and earth are roaring in anger. Incomparably dreadful heavenly might burst out from Qin Yun's body. The thunder and lightning heavenly rune wrapped around Qin Yun's body suddenly exploded. This is the power of heavenly might tyrant body. At the same time, the ancient ox devil's huge axe chopped down and hit the heavenly might tyrant body's barrier. Boom! Amidst the explosion, tyrannical thunder and lightning surged all around like a thick cloud. The ocean below is surging violently. It is as if a huge wave of lightning is churning. It is incomparably shocking. Chapter 19:20. That attack from the ancient ox devil was extremely powerful. The surface of the sea was still crackling with electricity and waves. As for the people nearby, they also felt like they were going to die. In particular, those especially powerful seniors knew very well that if it were them, they would have been blasted into pieces. But Qin Yun very calmly blocked that move. It must be known that Qin Yun was entangled by lightning heavenly runes earlier, but he was able to burst out with such a formidable defense. Even the ancient ox devil is filled with admiration. Old oxes move just now. Even I wouldn't be able to withstand it. Even if I don't die, I'll still be heavily injured. The fire Qilin sighed repeatedly and said to the Azure Dragon and the others, Your boss is really powerful. Black Rat, Bai Zhe, and the others were very worried just now. They naturally knew how terrifying the power of the ancient ox devil was. Although Qin Yun blocked that terrifying attack, he can't help but feel fear in his heart. He is certain that this ancient ox devil is a sacred transformation expert. The group of elders from the heaven-suppressing sect might be right. The ancient devil ox had become a saint, and the power it released was very pure saint power. In order to become a saint, one needed to cultivate a saint meridian. Only with a saint meridian could the saint energy released be stronger. Just now, the ancient ox devil used his own power to draw the lightning heavenly rune. The might of the rune is incomparably ferocious. It left a great shadow in Qin Yun's heart. Lu Yushuyan and Yang Shuriwe are very worried because the ancient devil ox's cultivation is higher than Qin Yun's. Qin Yun is only a 9th stage immortal emperor. It will be very difficult for him to win against a sacred transformation expert and a very powerful inscription dome master at that. They could also see that the ancient ox devil didn't hold back at all. Therefore, the ancient ox devil was now gathering his strength in preparation for the next wave of powerful attacks. The ancient ox devil didn't immediately attack after finishing his move. The main reason was that he had used up a lot of energy and hadn't recovered yet. Qin Yun's heart is heavy. He feels that it will be very difficult for him to defeat the ancient ox devil. He thought, I was careless. I couldn't tell that the ancient ox devil is a sacred transformation expert. I really didn't expect this. Why didn't this guy go to the sacred wasteland? Generally speaking, sacred transformation stage experts had to go to the sacred wasteland. There were only a few exceptions, such as the heartless, immortal venerable and the immortal desolate holy master. Qin Yun did not expect that the ancient ox devil in front of him was a rare exception. Xiao Yun, don't panic. We must defeat this guy and obtain his little nether son. Ling Yuner said, let's do it step by step. You have to believe in your own strength. I will release your hidden strength bit by bit. Qin Yun's formidable power comes from Nether Sunday. The power released by Nether Sun is mainly controlled by Ling Yuner. All right. Qin Yun suddenly rushed over. Seeing Qin Yun arrive, Ancient Ox Devil is not worried at all. He said with smile, Sect Master Qin, although you can block my move, it doesn't mean you can defeat me. Qin Yun did not say a word. After arriving, Ling Yun released Nether Sun's power, a very strong supergravity wrapped around the Ancient Ox Devil. The Ancient Ox Devil's body suddenly felt a powerful force colliding with it from all directions. Its expression immediately changed. The gravitational force released by the Nether Sun crashed into the Ancient Ox Devil from all directions and pulled at its body. The Ancient Ox Devil originally wanted to dodge, but found out that its body has become very slow. It can only raise its hand and attack Qin Yun with palm strike. Qin Yun's arm suddenly swelled up. 3 Nether Sun totems appeared on the surface of his arm. He fused the power of 3 heavenly Tao together and released the power of Nether Sun totems. He raised his arm and slapped towards the Ancient Ox Devil. A huge lion claw appeared on it. It is Heavenly Lion Fighting Dragon Claw. The golden Heavenly Lion Fighting Dragon Claw is accompanied by frantic flame, ferocious arrogant power, and heavenly might, Tao aura. It grabbed towards the Ancient Ox Devil. The Ancient Ox Devil's palm strike is filled with berserk palm wind and thunder and lightning. However, the power condensed from this palm strike was instantly disintegrated by Qin Yun's Heavenly Lion Fighting Dragon Claw. Roar! The Heavenly Lion Fighting Dragon Claw dropped down. It is as if a furious lion is roaring and hit the Ancient Ox Devil's body. The Ancient Ox Devil's body is being attacked by the supergravity coming from all directions. Adding on the fact that it consumed a lot of energy, it won't be able to struggle free in a short period of time. Moo! The Ancient Ox Devil's body suddenly became bigger. A huge golden bull illusory image appeared and wrapped around the Ancient Ox Devil's body. Boom! The lion claw landed on the huge golden bull illusory image. Energy waves surged and whistled. The sea that is yet to calm down became even more turbulent. It's the Ox Devil Golden Bell cover. The Fire Qilin shouted in alarm. Qin Yun's Heavenly Lion Fighting Dragon Claw is very dreadful, but the Ancient Ox Devil's defense is very strong. Everyone inhaled a mouthful of cold air. They remember that Qin Yun said before that he is an inscription master and doesn't like fighting. They didn't expect that his strength would be so dreadful when fighting. The Ancient Ox Devil is also extremely shocked. The power of Qin Yun's attack just now far surpassed that of many formidable 9th stage immortal emperors. It is enough to kill a sacred realm expert. Roar! Qin Yun immediately unleashed Heavenly Lion's heavenly roar. Moreover, it is combined with the one-thought Imperial Heaven Art. Heavenly Lion's heavenly roar is a very strong sound wave attack. It can intimidate souls and carry out mental attacks. Although the Ox Devil Golden Bell cover released by the ancient Ox Devil is very strong, it was still shattered by the heavenly lion fighting dragon claw. Taking advantage of the fact that the ancient Ox Devil has yet to react, Qin Yun immediately unleashed a formidable mental attack. He used Heavenly Lion's heavenly roar and directly attacked the ancient Ox Devil's head. The moment the ancient Ox Devil was hit, he felt a sharp pain in his head. The opportunity is here. Qin Yun immediately grabbed this opportunity and launched a ferocious attack. Roar, roar. One of Qin Yun's arms transformed into a mighty heavenly lion fighting dragon claw. The sharp claws are like several sharp sabers. Suddenly, the dragon lion's roar came from the sky. The heavenly lion fighting dragon claw was unleashed, accompanied by the dragon lion's roar. Heavenly Lion Extinction Dragon Palm. This berserk palm power was released through the Heavenly Lion Fighting Dragon Claw. Its might is incomparably ferocious. This ferocious aura caused many people and beasts to sigh in fear. Qin Yun's Heavenly Lion martial art is mainly used to restrain dragons. It is also effective against some beasts. The ancient Ox Devil became absent-minded. Its body was enveloped by the huge lion claw. The Heavenly Lion Fighting Dragon Claw exploded with the power of the Heavenly Lion Extinction Dragon Palm. Even the coarse skin and thick flesh of the ancient Ox Devil could not withstand it. Its tall and sturdy body was sent flying. Just now, Qin Yun injected a suffering divine ability power and a berserk vibration power into the ancient Ox Devil's body. This is mainly to make the ancient Ox Devil feel pain and at the same time use vibration power to disperse the power condensed in the ancient Ox Devil's body. When seizing the opportunity to attack, one must do it in one go. At the same time the ancient Ox Devil's body was sent flying, the ocean also roared. Qin Yun's repeated attacks just now caused the ocean to surge. Whether it is the people from the ancient Heaven clan or the Heaven Suppressing sect, they are all shocked by Qin Yun's strength. The ancient Ox Devil is very strong. This is very normal. After all, he is a beast man and a big shot of the ancient Heaven clan, a sacred transformation expert. However, Qin Yun is only a human and not a sacred transformation expert. He is actually able to beat the ancient Ox Devil. Qin Yun used the light transformation sacred pupil and caught up to the ancient Ox Devil. The ancient Ox Devil is truly very strong. Its body suffered several heavy blows in a row, but it did not bleed at all. Qin Yun is very clear that when dealing with this kind of guy with a strong body, a few moves in a row will not be able to heavily injure his body. There is not much meaning in continuing to attack. His arm that is transformed into the Heavenly Lion Fighting Dragon Claw suddenly changed back to its original appearance. Two of his fingers came together. He is about to use the Heaven Extinguishing 9 fingers. The ancient Ox Devil roared loudly. The sound wave is vast and mighty. He knew that Qin Yun is approaching, so he wanted to send Qin Yun flying. However, Qin Yun used the mysterious penetration divine ability and passed through the sound wave. He flashed to the side of the ancient Ox Devil and stabbed forward with 2 fingers. A transparent energy shot out from his 2 fingers. This is a very strong mental power attack. Heaven Extinguishing 9 fingers, Void Breaking Finger, and Open Soul Finger. One move, 2 styles. The Void Breaking Finger broke through the defense, and the Open Soul Finger directly attacked the ancient Ox Devil's soul. The ancient Ox Devil immediately let out a painful roar. This roar can be said to be earth-shattering and very frightening. The ancient Ox Devil's soul suffered a heavy blow. It hugged its head and shouted. The power of the sun and moon splendor is indeed very strong. It's a pity that I can't continue using it. Qin Yun's finger just now was the fusion of the nether sun and nether moon, using the power of the sun and moon splendor. The ancient Ox Devil did not admit defeat. Qin Yun gritted his teeth and saw that a black moon suddenly appeared above him. Nether moon. Qin Yun released the nether moon. It means that he is about to use the strongest mental attack. One of the Heaven Extermination 9 style soul attack technique. Moon leaving soul. Yang Shiryu said in low voice. This move might be able to destroy the ancient ox devil's soul. Moon leaving soul is a soul attack technique within the Heaven Extermination 9 style. It was also created by Yang Shiryu based on the 9 Extinction Heart Sutra and the Nethermoon. A huge Nethermoon appeared and is currently condensing power. Seeing this scene, the people from the heaven-suppressing sect and the ancient heaven race all swallowed their saliva. Even a Nethermoon has been released. It means that the next attack will be an incomparably powerful mental attack. Those seniors only feel that it is inconceivable. The ancient ox devil is a very strong inscription dome master. His mind and soul should not be weak, yet he is unable to resist Qin Yun's mental attack. This can only mean that Qin Yun's soul is stronger than the ancient ox devil's. The ancient ox devil's head is still in great pain. Just now, his soul was attacked by the Heaven Extermination 9 fingers, open soul, and almost torn apart. His soul is indeed strong enough, but Qin Yun's open soul finger is unleashed through the sun and moon splendor together with a one-thought imperial heaven art. Its might is incomparably formidable. I admit defeat, the ancient ox devil suddenly shouted. If they continue fighting, even if he can withstand Qin Yun's Nethermoon, his soul will definitely suffer serious damage, and he will definitely lose in the end. Qin Yun immediately took back the Nethermoon. Now, everyone knows that Qin Yun has the Nethermoon, and next, he will obtain the little Nether Sun, possessing both the Nethermoon and Nether Sun. How terrifying is this? Of course, Qin Yun already has both the Nethermoon and Nether Sun. Chapter 1921. In the end, Qin Yun did not use the Moon Soul move. Just as Yang Shiryu said, once it was used, the ancient bull devil's soul would most likely be destroyed. And this move would also cause Qin Yun's Nethermoon to be damaged. Senior bull devil, where is little Nether Sun? Qin Yun said with a smile. I offended you just now. Please forgive me. The ancient bull devil said, I don't have something like little Nether Sun with me. It's in a clan. Looks like I'll have to go to the ancient heaven clan as a guest. Qin Yun said with a smile. You guy, just now you pretended to attack my body, but secretly weaken my defense. Then you took advantage of my carelessness to attack my soul. The ancient bull devil scolded with a smile. I was careless. The ancient bull devil still has a very formidable power that he has yet to use. If his soul was not heavily injured, he would definitely be able to defeat Qin Yun. Qin Yun already knew that he was not a match for the ancient bull devil head-on, so he could only use his wits. I used a trick, Qin Yun said with a smile. In terms of strength, Senior is still the strongest. The ancient bull devil let out a long sigh and said, A defeat is a defeat. This is also my weakness, otherwise I wouldn't have lost. You were able to seize the opportunity to attack my soul in one breath. This is your strength. Everyone now understood that the reason Qin Yun could defeat the ancient bull devil was not because he was stronger than the ancient bull devil, but because he could grasp the opportunity during the battle. Without sufficient strength, even if the opportunity came, he would not be able to grasp it. This battle made everyone sigh with emotion. And those seniors are very clear that whether it is Qin Yun or the ancient bull devil, in the battle just now, neither of them used their strongest power. It is not that they held back their strength, but that they did not have the time to release it. Sect Master Qin, come with us to the ancient heaven clan. Let's chat along the way. The ancient bull devil said with a smile. Don't worry, I won't eat you. Our ancient heaven clan's beasts and beastmen don't eat human flesh. There's only so much human flesh. What's so delicious about it? This caused everyone present to have a strange feeling. Although the ancient bull devil lost, it seems like he lost wholeheartedly. Yang Shiryu and Liu Shuyan came to Qin Yun's side, wanting to go with him to the ancient heaven clan. It must be known that Qin Yun won the ancient heaven clan's Dragon Pearl and Little Nether Sunday. The heaven old race had enough reason to attack Qin Yun. Siekaru and the others are still cultivating in the heaven-suppressing sect's sacred land. They all have sufficient strength, so Qin Yun is not too worried about them. This time, the heaven-suppressing sect had learned their lesson. especially that elderly. He felt that he was blind to not be able to tell that Qin Yun was so powerful. All they wanted to do was try to salvage the situation. Elderly flew over and said, Sect Leader Qin, that using the dragon pearl as a sacrifice to the heavens will allow the heaven burial mausoleum to appear. This is beneficial to all of us. Elderly, I'm not afraid to tell you that even if we don't use the dragon pearl, the sky burial mausoleum will appear when the time comes. If you don't believe me, how about we make a bet? Within 10 days, a phenomenon will appear in the Cloud Dragon mountain range. That will also be the time when the heaven burial mausoleum appears. Speaking of gambling, Elderly was traumatized and did not dare to gamble anymore. Is this true? Elderly still couldn't believe it. How are you so sure of this? The dragon pearl can be used as a sacrifice to the heavens. Who did the dragon pearl originally belong to? The ancient bull devil asked. Of course, the dragon pearl belongs to the divine cosmos evil dragon. Everyone knows this. Elderly asked doubtfully, Why are you asking this? The ancient bull devil said with a smile, Since the dragon pearl can be used as a sacrifice to the heavens, then can the divine cosmos evil dragon be used as a sacrifice to the heavens? Elder Li and the elders of the heaven-suppressing sect were immediately tongue-tied. This, of course it's possible, but who can use the divine cosmos evil dragon as a sacrifice to the heavens? Although the divine cosmos evil dragon doesn't have a dragon pearl or a heart, his strength. Elderly looked at Qin Yun and said, Sect Leader Qin has experienced it before. Unless the heaven-suppressing sect, ancient heaven race, and heaven creation city join hands, it will be difficult to take down this guy. This guy? The ancient bull devil said, Elderly, your heaven-suppressing sect is not well-informed enough. The divine cosmos evil dragon originally planned to find the dragon pearl, but later on he met the guy from the heavenly law divine realm. The divine cosmos evil dragon was created by the heavenly law divine realm. The heavenly law divine realm also wants to find the heaven burial mausoleum, the fire Qilin said, and the divine cosmos evil dragon himself also wants to see the heaven burial mausoleum as soon as possible. Lu Yu Shuyin said in shock, The divine cosmos evil dragon is willing to be a sacrifice to the heavens? Wouldn't that mean he would die? The ancient bull devil shook his head. He doesn't need to die, but he will consume a lot of energy. If the divine cosmos evil dragon wants to recover, he will have to enter the heaven burial mausoleum to find his own heart. That is where he is most powerful. The divine cosmos evil dragon was originally a powerful divine beast from the divine wasteland. His heart contained a powerful divine punishment power. Then why didn't you say so earlier? Elderly shook his head and sighed. If you had said it clearly earlier, we wouldn't have done this. That's because we want the dragon pearl. If I tell you, I'm afraid you won't bet anymore. The ancient bull devil laughed. Elderly, don't feel so bad. My losses are greater than yours. Just let it go. Elderly curled his lips and said with a low snort, I'm not as heartless as you. What happened today is enough for Elderly to be depressed for many years. The ancient bull devil, who suffered the most, seems to be completely fine. Sect Master Qin, let's go. The ancient bull devil said with smile. Boss, they won't dare to bully you. We are here, Heishu said with smile. The ancient bull devil very seriously said, If your boss fights with his life, this old bull might not be able to defeat him. Qin Yun laughed, then followed the ancient bull devil and flew away from the heaven-suppressing sect. Lu Yushuyin and Yang Shiyu are a lot more relieved. Qin Yun obtained the dragon pearl and little nether sun. His strength will definitely increase by a lot. Half a day later, Qin Yun arrived at the ancient heaven clan. The ancient heaven clan is on a huge island in the sea. Nearby this huge island, there are many large and small islands. The overall strength of the ancient heaven clan is also very strong. The ancient bull devil is on the largest island. In the middle of the island, there is a huge mountain shaped like a bull's head. This Oxhead Mountain is the place where the ancient bull devil lives. After arriving here, The Fire Qilin and the others also returned to their island. Only He Shu Zhe and Sanlong are still here. Qin Yun, Yang Shiryu, and Liu Shuyan were invited by the ancient bull devil to enter a cave inside the Oxhead Mountain. Inside the cave, there is a very large and bright living room. Although it is not luxurious, it is quite elegant. Qin Yun and company are somewhat surprised. They never expected that a rough, old man like the ancient Bull Devil's cave would be so exquisite. Senior Bull Devil. Qin Yun did not finish speaking when he was interrupted by the ancient Bull Devil. Our strength is equal. Just call me Old Bull. The ancient Bull Devil waved his hand and said with smile, Sect Master Qin, since you are here, you are a guest and a friend. Don't call me a senior. Qin Yun said with a smile, Old Bull, we all came from the immortal desolate to go to the Heaven Burial Mausoleum. Is your ancient Heaven clan's goal also the Heaven Burial Mausoleum? This matter is very complicated. When the ancient Bull Devil mentioned this matter, he nodded his head. We have been in this sea for many years. Originally, we wanted to protect the Heaven Burial Mausoleum, but now we received an order to enter the Heaven Burial Mausoleum. Order? Where did the order come from? Liu Shuyan asked. Ancient Desolate. The ancient Bull Devil pointed up and said, The mysterious ninth Desolate. Ancient Desolate. Ancient Desolate? Then how much do you know about Ancient Desolate? Yang Shiryu curiously asked. Not a bit. They contact us from time to ask about the situation here. And we don't even dare to ask them about Ancient Desolate. After all, we can't even go to Sacred Desolate. The ancient Bull Devil shook his head and said, Then what about Little Nether Sun? How'd it come here? Bai Zhe asked. That thing is very mystical. Everyone knows that Nether Sun is very powerful, but it is just a legend. The legend is definitely not fake. It is just that we are too stupid and don't know how to use it. To be honest, in my eyes, Little Nether Sun is just a useless thing. I don't even know how to use it. The ancient Bull Devil said. Everyone in the living room is startled. The ancient Bull Devil actually doesn't know how to use Little Nether Sun. No wonder he is acting like nothing happened after losing Little Nether Sun. It is because in his eyes it is simply a useless thing. Grandpa Devil Bull, you actually want to use useless things to win against my boss's Divine Universe Amethyst and Dragon Pearl. Luckily, boss is powerful enough. Fire Dragon laughed loudly and said, The ancient Bull Devil said with smile, When you come out to mess around, you have to play some tricks to maximize the benefits. I already sent people to get that Little Nether Sun. Don't worry. Qin Yun is actually not in a hurry because the ancient Bull Devil signed a soul contract with him. He can't act shamelessly. Old Bull, how much do you know about the Heavenly Law Divine Realm? What exactly does this Heavenly Law Divine Realm do? Qin Yun said, I only know that the Heavenly Law Divine Realm, Heaven Creation God Palace, Heaven Suppressing Sect, and my Heavenly Ancient Race all received orders from the Ancient Desolate. The Heaven Creation God Palace in the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range has long since lost contact with the Ancient Desolate. It should have been abandoned, the ancient Bull Devil said, and we were originally in charge of guarding the Heaven Burial Mausoleum. We put some things into the Heaven Burial Mausoleum. Yang Shiryu said, Then have you seen the Heaven Burial Mausoleum? The ancient Bull Devil shook his head and said, Never seen it. When we want to put things in, a palace will appear. When we put things in the palace will disappear. It is very strange. At this time, a few expressionless large men brought in a golden sarcophagus. The Little Nether Sun is inside. It has always been inside the sarcophagus. The ancient Bull Devil said. Qin Yun walked over and said, Can I open it? Of course you can. Little Nether Sun won't run away. Sect Master Qin, after you see it, don't be disappointed. The ancient Bull Devil said. Qin Yun nodded and opened the sarcophagus. The sarcophagus is filled with pitch-black liquid. This is Little Nether Sun? Qin Yun thought that he would see a black ball. Yes, Little Nether Sun is exactly like this. I am very sure that this is Little Nether Sun. The ancient Bull Devil said. Yang Shiryu said, Can I touch it with my hand? Chapter 1922. Qin Yun and company came to the side of the stone coffin and placed their hands into the black liquid. How strange, Yang Shiyu said in shock. It looks like black water, but I can't touch anything. It's always been like this. I can't absorb it into my body. The ancient ox devil sighed. I've had this thing for many years. I can see it, but not touch it. Qin Yun asked Ling Yun. Ling Yun didn't know the reason for this for the time being. Ancient ox devil closed the lid and said with smile, Sect Master Qin, little nether sun is yours. Don't be disappointed. This little nether sun is like this. I don't know what's going on either. War Demon Ox, how did you get this thing? The Azure Dragon asked. I got it from Heaven Burial Tomb. Ancient Ox Devil said in a low voice. Don't tell anyone about this. Something bad will happen. Bai Zhe exclaimed. Demon Bull, didn't you say that you've never seen Heaven Burial Tomb? How can I obtain this little nether sun? The Ancient Ox Devil smiled. Didn't I just say that when you send something to the Heaven Burial Tomb, a palace will appear? As long as you put the item in the palace, you will be teleported to the Heaven Burial Tomb. Could it be that you saw this stone coffin when you went to the palace? He Shu said. He Shu, more or less. Speaking of which, it is very strange. Back in the day, I received a mission to bring a very strong, evil ghost and heavenly monster into Burial Heaven Mausoleum. After I arrived at the palace, I saw this stone coffin, and Yin Long suddenly appeared and told me that this is the little nether sun. He told me to take it, so I took it. The Cloud Dragon of the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range was also a very mysterious existence. In the future, the ancient Bull Devil's Heaven Old race, Chuangtian City, and Heaven Suppressing Sect would receive orders from time to time to escort some things to a palace. Then, through those palaces, they would be teleported to the Heaven Burial Mausoleum. What kind of guy is Yunlong? Qin Yun is suddenly very curious. Xiao Yuanmei and Long Yuqing also met Yunlong before. I don't know. Legend has it that the Cloud Dragon is the spirit of the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range. He knows everything about this place. The ancient Ox Devil said, How can I meet the Cloud Dragon? The Azure Dragon said, You are a dragon. Can't you sense it? The ancient Ox Devil laughed. You should be able to, right? I occasionally feel it, but it quickly disappears. Azure Dragon looked at the Water Dragon and Fire Dragon beside him, and they nodded. Qin Yin remembered that Long Yuqing was able to find Cloud Dragon because she was the heavenly dragon god. That will depend on luck, the ancient Ox Devil said. Qin Yin has obtained the little nether sun, but he doesn't know how to use it for the time being, so he is very anxious to study it. The ancient Ox Devil also arranged a very spacious secret room for him. Yang Shiyu and Lu Yu Shuyan followed Qin Yun to a large secret chamber in Oxhead Mountain. After arriving, Qin Yun released the stone coffin. How can little nether sun be like this? Could that old bull be tricking you? Lu Yu Shuyan walked over and opened the coffin's lid. After opening the stone coffin, Lu Yu Shuyan exclaimed, That was because the black liquid in the sarcophagus had disappeared and turned into clear water. Should we go ask the old bull? Yang Shiyu's face is filled with shock as she hastily said, No need. Maybe the little nether sun suddenly changed. Could it be because I touched it before that the change occurred? Qin Yin said. When Qin Yin placed his hand inside the sarcophagus, the nine-sun divine spirit also touched the black liquid. Lu Yu Shuyan also recalled Qin Yun's nine-sun divine spirit. She stayed inside the nine-sun divine spirit for a period of time before and knows that it is very mysterious. Ling Yuner said, Xiao Yun, try to control the nine-sun divine spirit and see if you can absorb the black liquid into your body. Qin Yun nodded and placed his hand inside the sarcophagus. Yang Shiyu and Lu Yu Shuyan are watching from the side. They are worried that something might happen to Qin Yun, because they don't know whether the black liquid inside the sarcophagus is the little nether sun or not. It is very strange. More than an hour later, Qin Yun has not made any progress. I feel that this is not the little nether sun. Lu Yu Shuyan lightly groaned and said, That old bull must also think so. Otherwise, he would not be so happy after losing a little nether sun. I'll give another try. Qin Yun said, At the very least, the things inside the sarcophagus have undergone a great change after being in my hands. Qin Yun continued to earnestly proceed. Suddenly, he felt the ground slightly tremble. There's a reaction? Lu Yu Shuyan said in shock. There was an earthquake just now. No, the earthquake came from outside. Yang Shiryu said with a frown. Could it be that someone is attacking the heavenly ancient race archipelago? This place is on the surface of the sea. For this huge island to suddenly tremble, it must be caused by a very strong energy. Shuriwe, you stay here with Xiaoyun. I'll go out and take a look, Lu Yu Shuyan said, and then quickly walked towards the secret room stone door. Yang Shiryu stayed here. If anything happens to Qin Yun, someone would be able to discover it in time. Qin Yun suddenly said, Sister Yang, this water can be seen but not touched. It's as if it's an illusion. Do you think it's an illusion? Yang Shiryu walked over, looked at the water, and said, Can you pour it out? Qin Yun immediately looked at the sarcophagus. He wanted to pour the water out, but he did not succeed. He said in shock, What's going on? Yang Shiryu suddenly opened her palm, and a small silver moon appeared in her palm. Big Sister Yang, is this your nether moon? Qin Yun said, The nether moon should be black. My moon is the fusion of 9 moons. It can change into many colors. Yang Shiryu smiled gently and said, If there's a chance, I'll teach you how to cultivate. It can make your mental power even stronger. Great, Big Sister Yang is going to teach me cultivation techniques again, Qin Yun said with a happy smile. Yang Shiryu placed the little silver moon in her palm into the sarcophagus. When the silver moon entered the clear water of the sarcophagus, the entire silver moon slowly turned white. Yang Shiryu said in shock, I feel that the water is hot. Previously, they were unable to touch the water. Even if they put their hands in, they would not feel anything. But now, Yang Shiryu could feel that it was hot water and the silver moon in her hand had turned white. Big Sister Yang, what does it mean that your little silver moon has turned white? Qin Yun asked. It means that it's in a very strong soul power. Yang Shiryu frowned and said, Xiaoyun, this little nether sun might only be in its initial state. It is not the true nether sun form. Very strong soul power. Don't tell me this is only nether sun spirit? Qin Yun said. It's possible. Yang Shiryu nodded and said, I remember that back then, you only had a nether sun martial spirit. Later on, you cultivated the nether sun. Ling Yun, suddenly said, Xiaoyun, use the nether moon and 9 sun divine spirit to devour. Qin Yun immediately attempted to release his nether moon. Then he placed his hand into the stone coffin and established a connection with the nether moon through the 9 yang divine spirit. The watermelon-sized nether moon floated above the sarcophagus. Suddenly, it spun and absorbed the clear liquid inside the sarcophagus. There's hope. Yang Shiryu's beautiful eyes flickered as she said with a smile, I can devour it. Ling Yun also shouted in surprise, Xiaoyun, leave it to me. The nether moon began to devour the nether sun martial spirit before entering the illusory space of the spiritual world. It was the space in the depths of Qin Yun's soul. Ling Yun was greedily absorbing the energy inside. The speed of absorption wasn't very fast, it was rather slow. Suddenly, Lu Yu and Shuyan rushed in. Sister Shuyan, what's wrong? Did something big happen? Yang Shiryu immediately walked over and asked. Something big, something very big. Lu Yu Shuyan's tone was grave. When she saw Qin Yun releasing the nether moon and absorbing the energy from the sarcophagus, she was pleasantly surprised. What's the matter? Yang Shiryu asked anxiously. Shuriwe, you stay here with Xiaoyun. I need to make a trip back to the heaven-suppressing sect. Lu Yu Shuyan said, The Cloud Dragon Mountain range is expanding. Expanding? What's going on? Qin Yun asked in shock when he heard this. Let's put it this way. The heaven-suppressing sect and the ancient heaven race are both in the sea, and the Cloud Dragon Mountain range is the shore. It is expanding and constantly devouring this sea. Not long from now, the heaven-suppressing sect and the ancient heaven race archipelago will be flattened by the expanding land of the Cloud Dragon Mountain range. Lu Yu Shuyan said. What did the old ox say? Qin Yun's expression changed as he said, a huge change has occurred in the Cloud Dragon Mountain range. The old ox said that the Heaven Burial Mausoleum might be coming out. The heavenly law divine realm is secretly offering sacrifices to the heavens and is about to succeed. Lu Yu Shuyan said, I have to go back and find Xiao Rou and the others. I have to quickly leave this sea. The ancient devil ox said before that within 10 days, the heavenly law divine realm and the divine universe evil dragon will definitely carry out the heaven sacrifice ceremony, and it will begin now. Sister Shuyan, be careful on the road. Yang Shi you warned. Got it. Lu Yu Shuyan nodded, and then hastily left the Oxhead Mountain. After Yang Shi Yu closed the door, she released the 2 sleeping charming moon elves. I need to speed up their recovery. If necessary, we need to use these 2 moon elves to travel through space. Yang Shi Yu said. She pulled the hands of the 2 moon elves and sat down cross-legged in the air, as if they are cultivating together. Qin Yun released the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation and surrounded them to help them speed up their recovery. Big Sister Yang, I can make the Moon Lady inscription spirit take human form, but it will look like you, Qin Yun said. Really? That's very good. Yang Shiryu is somewhat astonished. Then she sweetly smiled and said, Xiao Yun, the Moon Lady inscription spirit can transform into my appearance. It should be very strong, right? I haven't tried it yet. I'll give it a try if I have a chance. Qin Yun said. And I really want to see the appearance of the Moon Lady inscription spirit's human form. Yang Shiryu said with charming smile. Weak earthquake continuously occurred. Qin Yun doesn't know what is happening outside. He needs to calm his heart and absorb the small nether Sunday. What caused him and Ling Yuner to be surprised is that a black nether sun appeared above Ling Yuner's head in his mental world. Chapter 1923. Qin Yun was worried before that the little nether sun given to him by the ancient ox devil is fake. But now that he saw Ling Yuner's happy expression, he knows that this little nether sun is very reliable. Yuner, is this little nether sun really useful? Qin Yun looked at the stone coffin. The water inside is decreasing bit by bit. Of course it's useful. It's very useful. Ling Yuner said with smile. Xiao Yun, just wait and see. I will definitely make you stronger. Yuner, it seems like I have to quickly cultivate you. Qin Yun said with smile. Don't be too anxious. The most important thing now is to enter that place. There are many important things to do inside the Heaven Burial Mausoleum. Ling Yuner said. Qin Yun nodded. Yang Shiriwei used the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation to quickly restore her 2 moon elves. After the moon elves became very spirited, Yang Shiriwei took them back. Xiao Yun, what's the progress now? Yang Shiriwei asked. It's going smoothly. Qin Yun said, I left it to Yuner to handle. I don't know what the situation outside is like. The earth has not stopped shaking. Although it is not very violent, it gives people a very uneasy feeling. Nothing will happen. Yang Shiriwei gently caressed Qin Yun's cheek and said with gentle smile. MMM. Qin Yun continued to earnestly absorb the energy inside the stone coffin. The strange water inside the stone coffin doesn't seem to be much. It doesn't have any reaction, but Qin Yun can absorb it for a very long time. Qin Yun continued for several hours. More than half of the water inside the stone coffin is still inside. Inside Qin Yun's mental illusory space, Ling Yuner is looking at the little nether Sunday. The little nether sun is slowly rotating. Although it is continuously absorbing energy, it has never become bigger. Now, the little nether sun is in Ling Yuner's hand. It looks like a small pearl. Yang Shiriwei has been accompanying Qin Yun inside the secret room. Even if there is no other situation, she still wants to look after Qin Yun to prevent any accident from happening while he is absorbing the little nether Sunday. Big Sister Yang, Sister Kiru, and the others are very strong, right? Qin Yun said with smile. I really want to see her quickly. I really want to pinch her cute face. Yang Shiriwei pursed her lips in a smile and said, Xiao Yun, you can't pinch her. Qin Yun asked curiously why. Because she's no longer that little girl. She's grown up. Yang Shiryu laughed. She's grown up. Do you still want to pinch her face? She's not your big sister steam bun. How did it get bigger? Qin Yun said with a regretful expression. He has always been thinking about Xie Qiru's cute little face. He really wants to rub it nonstop. She swapped bodies with little Nian Yun. Yang Shiryu said. Nian Yun is the real little Nian Yun now. It could be done like this. Qin Yun said in surprise. Little Nian Yun was originally her avatar. Although she didn't awaken this avatar's memories, they can exchange souls, exchange bodies, and even fuse together to become stronger. Yang Shiryu said. Looks like I can only go back and pinch little Nian Yun. Qin Yun said with smile. You face-plucking maniac. Yang Shiryu caressed her jade-like face and said with a smile. Fortunately, the shape of my face isn't the kind that can be pinched. Qin Yun extended his hand and said with a smile. Sister Yang, I want to touch your face. Yang Shiryu smiled and came to Qin Yun's side. Qin Yun extended his hand and gently caressed Yang Shiryu's smooth as jade face. Although he can't pinch it, it's very easy to touch. Just as Qin Yun was caressing the beauty's face, the earth suddenly trembled. Yang Shiryu immediately became vigilant and said with a frown, This movement is not small. What's going on? Qin Yun let Long Tianji come out and said, Tianji, go out and take a look at the situation. Long Tianji immediately went out. Just as she went out, the earth shook violently again. It's as if someone is fighting outside. Yang Shiryu said worriedly, Xiao Yun, a battle might have broken out. Is your current situation all right? I can stop. Qin Yun said, If I can continue, that would be for the best. He already took out the heaven-leaping shuttle. He could still enter the heaven-leaping shuttle. If he really wanted to leave, he could walk inside the heaven-leaping shuttle. Not long after, Long Tianji returned. Master, there are a lot of people fighting outside. Long Tianji said, Those people seem to be from the heavenly law divine realm. The people of the heavenly law divine realm are actually attacking the Oxhead Mountain. This Oxhead Mountain is the territory of the ancient bull devil. If the heavenly law divine realm comes to attack, they definitely don't care about their lives. They want to attack the Oxhead Mountain even if they don't care about their lives. They must be here for something. Got it. You go back first. Qin Yun nodded and returned Long Tianji back into the Nine-Sun divine spirit. Yang Shiryu's expression is solemn. She took out a light blue battle armor and put on. She said, The heavenly law divine realm was able to persuade the divine cosmos evil dragon to cooperate with the heaven sacrifice. Maybe they agreed to some of the divine cosmos evil dragon's conditions. If the divine cosmos evil dragon cooperates with them in the heaven sacrifice, it will consume a lot of energy. It is very likely that the heavenly law divine realm agreed to help the divine cosmos evil dragon take back the dragon pearl. If the divine cosmos evil dragon finds the dragon pearl and takes back his own heart, he will be invincible. Qin Yun snorted. We can't let him succeed. Yang Shiryu tied up her hair in a ponytail and took out a silver knife. Her serious appearance made her look cold and gorgeous. She caressed the silver saber and said coldly, Xiao Yun, don't worry. With me here, they won't succeed. Thank you, big sister Yang. Qin Yun smiled in relief. For many years, Yang Shiryu had always been so concerned about him. Sister Rujing still hasn't cultivated her snow fairy? Yang Shiryu asked. Not yet. She's still in seclusion. Qin Yun said. If necessary, we have to get her to come out and help. Yang Shiryu said. Qin Yun looked at the large jade white gourd beside him and said, Big sister Yang, let's enter the heaven-leaping shuttle first. All right. Qin Yun nodded. Qin Yun controlled the heaven-leaping shuttle and teleported him and Yang Shiryu inside. After entering the main control room of the heaven-leaping shuttle, someone suddenly knocked on the stone door of the secret room. Qin Yun used his mental power to control the door to open it. The person who entered was He Shu. Boss, the people from the heavenly law divine realm are here. They are here to ask for the dragon pearl. He Shu looked at the heaven-leaping shuttle and said, Hurry up and leave. There's the ancient heaven race supporting this place. Can they sense the dragon pearl? Qin Yun asked. Demon Ox said that they can't sense it. There is a special seal on the dragon pearl, and the box that contains the dragon pearl also has a seal. Even the divine universe, evil dragon, can't sense it. He Shu said. Then be careful. Qin Yun said. Don't worry. The ancient heaven race is very strong. If these fellows from the heavenly law divine realm come, they will only be sending themselves to their deaths. He Shu said. Then I'll be leaving first. Qin Yun said. All right, Big Brother Azure Dragon has already used a secret technique to contact the Black Tortoise. The divine inscription mountain is already on its way. He Shu said again, Boss, you go first. Qin Yun controlled the heaven-leaping shuttle and flew out of the door. When he arrived outside, he saw a burst of light exploding in the pitch-black night sky. Near Oxhead Mountain, there were many people from the heavenly law divine realm fighting with the ancient heaven race. Qin Yun had originally planned to leave Oxhead Mountain, but after he flew out, he saw that many of the ancient heaven race people were injured and could only use their powerful bodies to block. Big Sister Yang, go out and help them. Qin Yun said, looks like the heavenly law divine realm is still very strong. Be careful. All right. Yang Shiryu left the heaven-leaping shuttle. The people of the heavenly law divine realm were indeed very strong because they absorbed the strong divine universe purple chi to cultivate. The divine universe purple chi in their bodies was much stronger than those evil spirits and heavenly monsters. Therefore, their physical bodies were also much stronger. The heavenly law divine realm was very mysterious. The people there all absorbed a large amount of divine universe purple chi, but they did not become evil. Qin Yun looked at Yang Shiryu's beautiful figure inside the heaven-leaping shuttle and paid attention to her situation at all times. Xiao Yun, Big Sister Yang, is very strong. She seems to have mastered a method to deal with those fellows. Ling Yun said, those who have cultivated the divine universe purple chi are very difficult to deal with, just like those evil spirits and heavenly monsters. However, with Big Sister Yang's strength, she can easily deal with those fellows. Qin Yun remembered that a cold and arrogant youth with a heavenly Dao folding fan had appeared. At that time, Yang Shiryu had taken that cold and arrogant youth down in a few moves. After Yang Shiryu flew out, the silver blade in her hand shone with a silver radiance like moonlight. She flew towards the people from the heavenly law divine realm. The people of the heavenly law divine realm all called themselves heavenly guards. Those heavenly guards were about the same as the 3 old men Qin Yun had seen in the evil dragon city. However, they were not as strong as those 3 old men. In the direction that Yang Shiryu flew over, there were 5 heavenly guards surrounding 2 heaven old race beastmen. The 2 beastmen were both centaur beasts, with a pair of steel-like wings. They were constantly using their wings to attack. There were a lot of people in the heavenly law divine realm. They had ambushed the Oxhead Mountain and were fighting with numbers, suppressing the heaven old race people of the Oxhead Mountain. Yang Shiryu suddenly flashed over, the silver blade in her hand swiftly slashing toward the heavenly guard dressed in black armor. Bang! Her silver blade was very sharp, but when it landed on the armor, it did not immediately split it open. It only created a spark and a flash of energy. As for the heavenly guard that was struck by her, his body was also shaken. Although his body was not split open, cracks appeared on his armor. Yang Shiryu caught up to the heavenly guard that was sent flying, and the second slash immediately followed, exploding out with a burst of mighty heavenly might and an arrogant aura. Heaven's wrath of the 9 styles of heaven extermination. This slash was like a heavenly roar, and its power was extremely shocking. When a heavenly guard from the heavenly law divine realm felt this terrifying might, he was scared out of his wits. After letting out a blood-curdling scream, his body was cut in half by Yang Shiryu's blade. Yang Shiryu's battle looked very fierce, but it was not as brutal and crazy as Lu Yu's. Yang Shiryu was a very calm battle, giving off a very calm and cold feeling. Chapter 1924. Qin Yun watched from inside the heaven-leaping shuttle and secretly exclaimed in his heart, Sister Yang must have cultivated some kind of power that can restrain the power of the heavenly guards. Ling Yun said with certainty. If she were to face the evil spirits and heavenly monsters, she would definitely be able to harvest them as quickly as cutting grass. Qin Yun also felt that Yang Shiyu's power could restrain the heavenly guards. He asked doubtfully, how did she cultivate it? Xiao Yun, don't forget who she is. Ling Yun said with a smile. She is one of the 9 Sun Divine Maiden, and she is with Sister Kiru. It must have been Sister Kiru who guided her. The moon of the immortal desolate had once undergone a strange change. Not only was there a moon god mountain, there was also a powerful energy within the moon's core. The disciples of the Guanghan Palace had all returned to cultivate in the moon's core. Xia Kiru is an extraordinary woman. She is proficient in many things and knows many ancient secrets. Before she came to the Cloud Dragon Mountain range, she had been in seclusion for a long time, so she must have been prepared. Sister Kiru's divine position is damaged and sealed in that heaven burial mausoleum. Qin Yun said, why are there so many things sealed in the heaven burial mausoleum? Heaven burial, could it be that you are all buried together? Ling Yun said in shock, your 8 souls and 9 spirits. Princess Ye's 8 souls and 8 spirits. Sister Kiru's divine position and her strongest body, as well as Father's fire dragon true body. Other than that, there must be even more things sealed inside. Yang Shiyu joined the battle and quickly took care of more than 10 heavenly guards. When the people of the ancient heaven clan saw how powerful Yang Shiyu was in dealing with the heavenly guards, they immediately admired this beautiful woman. When the ancient bull devil saw Yang Shiyu, he shouted, Miss Yang, where is Sect Master Qin? He's very safe, don't worry. Yang Shiyu replied, she has always been near the Heaven Leaping Shuttle. The Heaven Leaping Shuttle is invisible and the heavenly guards can't see it. The ancient bull devil is not worried about Qin Yun. After all, he is defeated by Qin Yun. He is only worried that the Dragon Pearl will be taken away. The ancient bull devil's strength is also very terrifying. His palms are covered with violent lightning and turned into a pair of claw images. When he saw the heavenly guards, he rushed over and inserted his hands into the heavenly guards of Qin. Inside the Heaven Leaping Shuttle, Qin Yun was alarmed. There were many heavenly guards. These guys, no matter how many of them there are, they can't just throw away their lives like crazy. Qin Yun saw a large number of heavenly guards being killed. Their broken corpses fell into the sea. He immediately released the Nether Soul's sacred blade. However, after the Nether Soul's sacred blade flew around, it was unable to collect any remnant souls. No remnant soul? Are these heavenly guards soulless? Qin Yun said with a frown. The large number of heavenly guards outside looked like normal people. They could feel pain, they could feel anger, and they were also arrogant. They did not look like puppets at all. Qin Yun immediately used the Extinction Spirit Eye and quickly made a shocking discovery. After the heavenly guards died, the divine universe purple gas in their bodies immediately disappeared, as if it was suddenly absorbed by something. Once they die, the divine universe purple chi will return. Ling Yun said, the divine universe purple chi can quickly mold a powerful body. Could it be that the heavenly guards are created? Qin Yun's heart skipped a beat as he said, if that's really the case, wouldn't the heavenly law divine realm be invincible? Not necessarily invincible, but they are definitely the most numerous, and they are not afraid of death. Ling Yun said, I suspect that these heavenly guards have a unified soul that controls them across space. Qin Yun nodded and said, if that's really the case, then these heavenly guards are also puppets. They have flesh and blood. They are puppets that look like real people. The divine Cosmos Evil Dragon was also created this way, right? But the process is definitely more complicated and uses even more resources. Ling Yun said, speaking of the divine Cosmos Evil Dragon, Qin Yun is suddenly worried that it will be able to find its heart. What is the use of the immortal graveyard diagram? Now that we don't need the immortal graveyard diagram, the heaven-burying mausoleum will appear. Qin Yun is very doubtful in his heart. It will definitely have a great use. Ling Yuner said. Yang Shuriwe flew in the sky. Wherever she went, heavenly guards would be chopped and killed. What Qin Yun finds inconceivable is that while Yang Shuriwe is fighting, although Yang Shuriwe looks very brave and fierce, she gives people a very calm feeling from beginning to end. She is like a cold and elegant, peerlessly beautiful fairy, calmly fighting. No matter what, her beautiful ice-cold face is very calm from beginning to end. If it were Liu Shuyan, her killing intent would have already blotted out the sky, and earth in her eyes would have turned purple-red. Just as Qin Yun was thinking about Liu Shuyan, he suddenly sensed a very strong killing intent rushing over. Liu Shuyan is truly here. She is wearing a mask, draped in a black robe, holding a pair of long sabers in her hands. Her long hair fluttering wildly, she rushed into the battlefield like a peerless devil. After entering the battlefield, the heavenly guard screamed miserably again and again. The bodies of the heavenly guards were torn to shreds by the berserk killing god power released by Liu Shuyan. Qin Yun looked at Liu Shuyan, who was going on a killing spree, and felt a very shocking impact. Although this is not the first time he saw the appearance of this killing god, every time he sees it, he can't help but feel shocked, because he knows that under that mask, this killing god has a dreamy and peerlessly beautiful face. Moreover, it is a very charming and seductive woman. Qin Yun extended his hand into the sarcophagus. At the same time, he seriously looked at the battle situation outside. Just as he is entranced, a pair of lily-white hands suddenly covered his eyes. This caused his whole body to tremble in fright. Someone suddenly appeared in the Heaven Leaping Shuttle's control room. He can't sense any aura, but his intuition tells him that this person is very powerful. After he sensed a pair of delicate lily-white hands covering his eyes, a burst of fragrance that caused his soul to linger in his dreams assaulted him. "Sister Kiru," Qin Yun shouted. "How did you know it was me?" Siak Kiru chuckled and said, "So boring, you recognized me in an instant." "I can recognize you," Qin Yun very happily said with smile. Siak Kiru appeared in front of Qin Yun in a flash. She is wearing a simple white dress. Her flawless, beautiful face is filled with gentleness. At the same time, it is somewhat charming and delicate. This gentle as water, yet somewhat mischievous beauty made Qin Yun feel as if he returned to his childhood. Back then, this beautiful and gentle imperial tutor elder sister often played with him. Siakaru stuck out her fragrant tongue and said with gentle smile, "Xiao Yun, long time no see. You seem to have lost weight. Let elder sister pinch your cheeks." After speaking, her lily-white hands began pinching Qin Yun's face. While pinching Qin Yun's handsome face, she giggled tenderly. Her very happy appearance is tender, beautiful, and moving. Qin Yun still has one hand that can move. He promptly pinched Siakaru's gentle and tender face. "This is little Ninyun's body. You exchange bodies with her." Qin Yun curled his lips and said with smile, "Little Ninyun has become a real little Ninyun. From now on, she will be a little dot. I also like to pinch her face," Siakiru said with charming smile. Qin Yun gently caressed Siakaru's face and said with smile, "Sister Crew, although you have turned back into an adult, your face is still very good to touch. Xiao Yun, your face is not as chubby as it was when you were a child," Siakaru said with gentle smile. "I really want Yueme to turn you into a child and let elder sister pinch you to my heart's content." "Sister Kiru, where are little Melian and Yueme?" Qin Yun asked. "They are still in Heaven Suppressing Sect," Siakiru said. "Don't worry, they are very safe in Heaven Suppressing Sect. Yuelon and Yu Shaoling, these two violent girls are not to be trifled with." Siakiru suddenly grabbed the hand that is pinching her face and said with smile, "Xiao Yun, you have obtained another nether son. You must properly use it." Qin Yun gently rubbed Siakaru's hand and said, "Sister Kiru, what's going on with this little nether son? Shuyan told me before. I guess it is something that Heaven Burial Mausoleum bestowed to ancient bull devil back then, but he doesn't know how to use it." Siakaru said with smile, "This is truly a little nether son. Moreover, it is the most initial type. It is the easiest to fuse with. That's very good, Qin Yun said with smile. Xiao Yun, I heard from Shu Yin that you killed Devil Immortal Great Emperor and obtained Divine Universe Amethyst. Is that right? Xie Qiru said. Qin Yun nodded and said, Divine Universe, Evil Dragon, Devoured Immortal Desolate Great Emperor. Xie Qiru looked outside and said with frown, Heavenly Law Divine Realm people are here to snatch the Dragon Pearl. Sister Qiru, do you still remember Princess Anya? You said she has enmity with me. What exactly is going on? After Qin Yun finished speaking, he told Xie Qiru about Heaven Creation Palace Master and Princess Anya fusing together. He also mentioned that Yang Shuriwe and Bing Xing are 9 Sun Divine Maidens. After Xie Qiru finished listening, her expression is very calm, as if she is not surprised at all. She said faintly, Don't worry, although she has enmity with you, it is not very big. When did I offend her? Qin Yun is very doubtful. Was it during my 9 Sun Divine King life? No. Xie Qiru gently smiled, pinched Qin Yun's face, and said with smile, Xiao Yun, let nature take its course. I guarantee you that even if she recovers her memories later, she won't kill you. All right, then, Sister Qiru, are you one of the 9 Sun Divine Maidens? Qin Yun asked. I am one of the 9 Sun Divine Maidens. Xie Qiru nodded and said, Perhaps I am the one with the most complete memories so far. Bing Xing and Shuriwe both don't know anything about their own situation. Then what about Sister Yu? Although Qin Yun already guessed it, he is still somewhat astonished. Yu too. Xie Qiru nodded and smiled. Not only Yu. She looked at Luiwe Shuyan outside and said again, Shuyan is also one of the 9 Sun Divine Maidens, but she doesn't even know about it. Qin Yun is startled. He really did not expect that Luiwe Shuyan is also a 9 Sun Divine Maiden. Seeing Qin Yun's astonished expression, Xie Qiru sweetly smiled and said, Xiao Yun, now you know why we are in Guanghan Palace. I only know that 9 Sun Divine Maidens are born from the moon and stars. Is the moon very important to you? Qin Yun asked. It can be said to be our home. Xie Qiru said, Sister Qiru, Princess Anya, Sister Bing Xing, Heaven Creation Palace Master, Sister Yang, Sister Yu, and Sister Shuyan. These are the 7 9 Sun Divine Maidens. What about the other 2? Qin Yun very curiously asked. Chapter 1925. Xie Qiru looked at Qin Yun with a smile and said, Xiao Yun, who are you thinking of? Tell me, maybe you guessed wrong. Yuelon and Yueme? Are they 9 Sun Divine Maidens? Qin Yun asked in bewilderment. They are indeed 9 Sun Divine Maidens. They both have very formidable talent, and they are somewhat similar. Xie Qiru smiled and caressed Qin Yun's stunned face. She said with smile, Of course, Yuelon and Yueme's situation is rather special. This is mainly because of their relationship with Shu Yin. Qin Yun also knows that Xiao Yueme and Xiao Yuelon have a part of Luiwe Shuyin's soul and a part of Luiwe Shuyin's body. Their growth seems to be related to Luiwe Shuyin. When Luiwe Shuyin was Feng Yue Yao, she was Xiao Yuelon and Xiao Yueme's master. She can be considered as their elder sister. I really did not expect this. Qin Yun shook his head and smiled. 9 Sun Divine Maidens are actually by my side. This is our fate. Our fate is destined to be intertwined with yours. Xie Qiru's beautiful eyes are filled with tenderness and at the same time melancholy. She sighed and said, I truly hope that we can have a good ending in this life. Qin Yun can imagine that in his past lives, because of various reasons, he got together with these 9 Sun Divine Maidens. Then he entangled with them for many years and experienced several lifetimes. Qin Yun crouched beside the sarcophagus and placed his arm inside. Xie Qiru crouched beside him and looked at the liquid inside the sarcophagus. He suddenly embraced the delicate and fragrant beauty and said, Sister Qiru, I will definitely protect you. Xie Qiru leaned on Qin Yun's bosom and said with smile, Xiao Yun, it was us who protected you before. You just didn't know. Really? Qin Yun deeply inhaled the delicate fragrance from the beauty's body and said in disbelief, "I was very weak before." Siekaru raised her head. Her beautiful eyes are filled with deep affection and gentle ripples. She said with gentle smile, "Look at your big sister Yang and big sister Shuyan. Aren't they risking their lives to protect you?" Of course he can feel Yang Shiryu and Lu Yu Shuyan's concern for him. Even when Lu Yu Shuyan was still sister Yao Fong, she misunderstood him greatly. She still cared about him very much. "We'll go out and help them." Qin Yun suddenly wanted to take his hand out of the sarcophagus, but Siekaru stopped him. "No need. It's very easy for them to deal with the fellows from the natural law divine realm. Even if the divine universe evil dragon comes, he won't be able to do anything to them," Siekaru said. Qin Yun looked at Siekaru's beautiful face and asked, "Do they have a method to restrain the heavenly guards?" This power is something we cultivated through Sun and Moon Heart Sutra. It is a very feminine power. Men cannot learn it, Siekaru said. Yang Shiryu and Lu Yu Shuyan, who were outside, joined hands to attack the group of heavenly guards from the natural law divine realm. Even if they were surrounded and attacked by many heavenly guards, they would still be able to deal with them easily. Even the group of people from the Heaven Old race felt that this was inconceivable. The Heaven Old race was strong enough. They were not afraid of these heavenly guards. It was just that it would not be easy to deal with them. As for Yang Shiryu and Lu Yu Shuyan, whether it was the power they released or the weapons in their hands, they could easily cause fatal damage to the heavenly guards. Therefore, it was easy for the two of them to deal with the heavenly guards. Even if a large number of heavenly guards attacked them without any regard for their lives, they would still die no matter how many came. "Sister Kiru, what's going on with those heavenly guards? I can see that after they died, the divine universe, purple chi on their bodies suddenly disappeared." Qin Yun said. He is filled with doubts about the current Cloud Dragon Mountain range. Those divine universe, purple clouds, return to the natural law divine realm. There is a pool of creation in the heavenly law divine realm, and the heavenly guards are all born from there, Siekaru said. "It was born from the divine universe, purple gas," Qin Yun exclaimed. "Yes. Don't worry. They're only temporarily tearing open the space and sending out the heavenly guards from the natural law divine realm. Once the space closes, the heavenly guards will not be able to come back," Siekaru said. "What's going on with the space in the Cloud Dragon Mountain range? When I first arrived, I could still easily travel through space." When Qin Yun mentioned this matter, he became even more puzzled. Then he simply explained the matter to Siekaru. After Siekaru heard this, she said with a smile, "Xiao Yun, this Cloud Dragon Mountain range is alive. The sudden restriction on spatial travel was caused by the Cloud Dragon Mountain range's own consciousness." Princess Anyez's guess is indeed correct, Qin Yun exclaimed. "The Cloud Dragon Mountain range is actually alive? Was he in the body of a living being? Or what's going on?" The Cloud Dragon Mountain range is a holy land of the sun. This kind of holy land is an independent space. Because of the special nature of this holy land, it once gathered all kinds of energy. Siekaru chuckled as she caressed Qin Yun's face. It was obvious that she liked to caress Qin Yun's face. She paused for a moment before continuing. "There is an immortal graveyard here, which is the Heaven Burial Mausoleum. In addition, this is the starting point for the creation of the heavens, which is why all kinds of different energies are gathered here. What is unexpected is that this independent space can evolve its own consciousness. How magical!" Qin Yun sighed and said, "Then can we communicate with the consciousness of this space? When the opportunity comes, it's possible." The consciousness of the Cloud Dragon Mountain range is erratic, Siekaru said with a smile. "The legendary Cloud Dragon is the spirit of the Cloud Dragon Mountain range. The mysterious Cloud Dragon was actually such an existence. Yu Qing has seen the Cloud Dragon before. She can even sense the location of the Cloud Dragon. She should have brought her here," Qin Yun said. "She could sense the Cloud Dragon before because the Cloud Dragon wanted to see her. If the Cloud Dragon didn't want to see her, she wouldn't have been able to sense it," Siekaru said with a smile. I am quite surprised that this girl Yu Qin can become a heavenly dragon god. Qin Yun pinched Siekaru's soft and beautiful jade-like face and said with smile, Sister Kiru, you don't seem surprised at all. Oh, that's right. You said that this is the starting point for the creation of the heavens. What do you mean? Did this place really succeed in creating the heavens? Creating the heavens is only creating the 9-sun heavenly domain. It is not the so-called heavenly Tao. The heavenly Tao is mysterious and unfathomable. After creating the 9-sun heavenly domain, the heavenly Tao will naturally connect with this heavenly domain. Therefore, most of the heavenly domains operate more or less the same. Siakiru leisurely smiled and said, 9-sun heavenly domain. This is the earliest heavenly domain. It was also created by the Heaven Creation Divine Palace. The 9-sun heavenly domain was created by people. Qin Yun said in disbelief, I thought that the 9 suns were naturally born. The 9 suns in the sky are naturally formed. The Heaven Creation Divine Palace perfected the space of the 9-sun heavenly domain with the foundation of the 9 suns. Siekaru said with smile, the formation of the 9 suns is very complicated. The 9-sun royal family has always been researching and also wanted to create a formidable sun. Qin Yun hastily asked, did they succeed? Siekaru nodded and said, half succeeded. The suns they created are not very strong, and I have mastered the method to create a formidable sun. I need to use the 9-sun divine spirit and 9-een divine spirit and then cooperate with the nether sun spirit. Siekaru suddenly grabbed Qin Yun's hand, her 10 fingers tightly intertwined, and she said in low voice, the 9-een divine spirit is with me, and the 9-sun divine spirit is with you. We can surely create a very powerful 9-sun and break away from the shackles of fate. Sister Kiru, so there is such a complicated matter hidden behind this. Qin Yun said with sigh, there are some things that even if I tell you, it will be useless. It will only make you overthink and distract you. Siekaru pulled Qin Yun's hand and placed it on her cheek. Oh, that's right. Princess Yi said that she's been looking for me for the 9-sun divine spirit and 9-een divine spirit, as well as the 9 desolate divine saber. Qin Yun told Siekaru about this matter again. She is looking for the 9-sun divine spirit and 9-een divine spirit to create formidable 9 suns. As for the function of the 9 desolate divine saber, I don't know, Siekaru said. Qin Yun suddenly said with frown, Sister Kiru, is there any connection between your 9-sun divine maiden and the creation of 9 suns? Of course there is. Siekaru nodded. Then what about me? What kind of existence am I in this grand plan? Qin Yun asked again. Very crucial existence. I also don't know. Siekaru said, Xiao Yun, wait until we enter the Heaven Burial Mausoleum and take back your 8 souls and 9 spirits. You might not even know what is going on. Qin Yun shook his head and said with smile, it seems like I shouldn't think too much about it. Siekaru took out the immortal graveyard diagram and said again, even if the Heaven Burial Mausoleum appears, they won't be able to find the true main heavenly burial mausoleum. Only we know. Is this the use of the immortal graveyard diagram? Qin Yun finally understood. The Heaven Burial Mausoleum is very, very big. There are many palace mausoleums and city mausoleums. There are all kinds of big and small mausoleums. Siekaru said. Then, why are we sealed inside? Qin Yun is very puzzled. Because we were once the creators of heaven. Moreover, we also violated the true heavenly Tao. Siekaru said in low voice. We also didn't understand this matter back then. In short, there is a very formidable power that wanted to suppress our growth. Qin Yun is somewhat astonished. Once the creators of heaven, some of them were the creators of 9-sun heavenly domain, so they were sealed inside the Heaven Burial Mausoleum. Some of them wanted to destroy the 9-sun heavenly domain, so they were also sealed inside. The Heaven Burial Mausoleum will appear after the Heaven Worship Ceremony. It means that these 2 hostile powers will have a great battle and both sides will lose. Both sides will suffer. Qin Yun finally understood why there are so many things sealed inside the Heaven Burial Mausoleum. So, it is because of this reason. It is getting more and more complicated. Qin Yun shook his head and let out a long sigh. That's why I said, don't think too much about it. Siak Karu smiled faintly and gently caressed Qin Yun's face. Her beautiful eyes are filled with enchanting tenderness. Qin Yun said with smile, Sister Karu, among you 9 Sun Divine Maidens, there must be one who is the big sister, right? Which one of you is the big sister? Siak Karu pursed her lips and said with smile, You guess. I feel that you are definitely wrong. I will give you 3 guesses. If you can't guess, I won't tell you. Chapter 1926. Qin Yun's face is filled with suspicion. He touched Siak Kiru's face and said with smile, Sister Kiru, are you lying to me? I think only you are the big sister. Among the 9 Suns Divine Maidens, you know the most. Siak Kiru giggled. Shall you and continue guessing? I will never lie to you. Qin Yun thought about it very seriously. He was carefully analyzing who was the big sister. He looked at Yang Shiyu and Liu Shuyan who were fighting outside. They all looked like big sisters, especially Liu Shuyan. But he immediately thought of Heaven Creating Palace Master and Princess Dark Knight. The Heaven Creation Palace Master has been in the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range for many years and is in charge of looking after the Heaven Creation City. She might also be the big sister. Furthermore, Princess Yi had helped the 9 Suns royal family conquer the 3,000 heaven regions back then. It was highly possible. He did not consider Xiao Yuelon and Xiao Yuemei. Xiao Yuelon is a very bad female hoodlum, and Xiao Yuemei is very mischievous. He felt that these 2 sisters could not possibly be 9 Sun Divine Maidens' big sister. Sister Yu and Sister Bingxing might also be. Qin Yun muttered, Quickly guess. Siak Karu pinched Qin Yun's arm and said with charming smile, You still haven't decided? Is 9 Yang Divine Maiden's elder sister important? Asked Qin Yun suddenly. Very important, Siak Karu said. Of course, her current importance cannot be shown. Qin Yun said, I think it is Sister Shuyan. After Siak Karu heard this, she tenderly smiled, flicked Qin Yun's nose and said, Wrong. It is not Shuyan. Ah. Qin Yun looked at the domineering Liu Shuyan who was fighting bravely and fiercely and said, I feel that she has the demeanor of a big sister. Qin Yun felt that Siak Karu has the appearance of a big sister. Because many things were arranged by her, Qin Yun thought that she was the big sister from the very beginning. Siak Karu stuck out her tongue and said with smile, Continue. You still have one more chance. Qin Yun pouted, touched Siak Karu's tender and smooth face and said, I won't guess anymore. Beautiful Sister Kiru, just tell me. Keep guessing. If you guess correctly, I will get a reward. Siak Karu said with a mischievous smile. What reward? Qin Yun asked curiously. You guess correctly, I will kiss your face. Siak Karu said with smile. Heaven Creating Palace Master. Qin Yun immediately shouted. Wrong again. Siak Karu flicked Qin Yun's nose with smile. Qin Yun curled his lips and said, Princess Anya. Siak Karu just smiled and did not speak. Sister Bingxing, Qin Yun said again. However, Siak Karu smiled sweetly and gently. It seems like she does not intend to tell Qin Yun who the big sister is. Yu, Qin Yun shouted again. Siak Karu smiled tenderly and said, Stop guessing. You will know in the future. Qin Yun asked curiously, Who is it? Siak Karu leaned over and kissed Qin Yun's cheek, leaving behind an intoxicating fragrance. She said with smile, I will give you the reward. No need to guess. Sister Kiru, I also want to kiss your face. Qin Yun said with smile. All right, come on. Siak Karu moved her beautiful face closer. Qin Yun immediately kissed the beautiful and gentle face. At the same time, he took a deep breath and greedily sucked in the fragrance of the gentle beauty. Ling Yun who was absorbing Little Nether Sun inside the illusory space, kept shouting tenderly, Kiss, quickly kiss, idiot, you have missed such a good opportunity. Qin Yun is already accustomed to Ling Yun's instigation, so he pretended not to hear. He feels that being this close to Siak Karu is already very satisfied. Xiao Yun, how about this? I will cultivate with you and help you quickly absorb the energy of Little Nether Sun. Xiaqiru said, Is this okay? Little Nether Sun's energy is very dangerous. I am afraid you won't be able to endure it. Qin Yun said, Xiaqiru's current body is not her strongest. It is Xian Yinyun's previous body. Don't worry. Little Yinyun is very diligent in cultivation. Her body is very strong. Xiaqiru said with light smile, and then reached her hand into the sarcophagus. Qin Yun's hand is also grabbed by Xiaqiru. His 10 fingers are tightly intertwined. Xiao Yun, I will cultivate the second layer of Sun and Moonheart Sutra with you. Divine Fusion Technique. Xiaqiru suddenly said, This Little Nether Sun's energy is mainly soul power. Divine Fusion Technique can allow our souls to fuse together and speed up your absorption. Qin Yun promptly nodded. Cultivating Divine Fusion Technique means that mind and soul are closely intertwined. Qin Yun first cultivated it with Yang Shuriwei. Sun and Moonheart Sutra also has third layer. It can only be cultivated by husband and wife. Qin Yun has only cultivated it with Xiao Yuelon. Very soon, Xiaqiru entered Qin Yun's illusory space. This is Qin Yun's mental world. Everything here is illusory, but also very real. After entering, Xiaqiru saw a charming and pleasant woman. Ling Yun-er's appearance is sweet and pleasant, yet she does not lose her charm and tenderness. She is also a very enchanting little fairy. Hello, Sister Kiru. I am Ling Yun-er. Ling Yun-er is earnestly absorbing Little Nether Sun's energy. Otherwise, she would have rushed over and hugged Xiao. Yun-er, I have heard of you long ago. Xiaqiru gently smiled, walked over, and caressed Ling Yun-er's charming and pleasant face. Sister Kiru, your hand is so fragrant and soft. Touch my face more. Ling Yun narrowed her eyes and said with sweet smile, What a weird and eccentric beautiful fairy. Xiaqiru gently smiled and caressed Ling Yun-er's face. She raised her head and looked at the Nether Sun and said, Do you want to cultivate this Nether Sun? Ling Yun nodded and said earnestly, I am considered a Nether Sun fairy. If I also have a Nether Sun, Xiao Yun will be even stronger. Then I will leave Xiao Yun to you. You must guide his growth. Xiaqiru said, because he is cultivating together with Xiaqiru. Qin Yun is absorbing energy from the sarcophagus even faster. The sarcophagus energy unceasingly flowed into Qin Yun and Xiaqiru's body, and then into Qin Yun's illusory space. Then it was absorbed by Ling Yun. Sister Kiru, you are so beautiful. Can I kiss you? Ling Yun spoke. She already tiptoed, moved her small mouth over, and kissed Xiaqiru's face. You're also very beautiful. Xiaqiru charmingly smiled and also kissed Ling Yun-er's face. Qin Yun said, Sister Kiru, after cultivating together with you, my absorption speed has indeed become a lot faster. If I had known earlier, I would have let Sister Steamed Bun and the others come out and cultivate with me. Ling Yun said, Xiao Yun, Sister Steamed Bun, and the others can't. Don't forget, Sister Kiru has 9 divine spirit. That's why she can be so fast. Yun is right. If it was Qing Chung and the others, they might not be able to withstand the Nether Sun's energy. Xiaqiru nodded and said, Inside Qin Yun's illusory space, there's a grassland with many beautiful flowers. Inside the illusory space, Xiaqiru is sitting on the grassland with Qin Yun's palms tightly pressed against each other. The two of them are sitting beside Ling Yun-er. They are earnestly absorbing the sarcophagus energy, with Xiaqiru joining them. The absorption speed has indeed become a lot faster. Not long after, more than half of the remaining energy inside the sarcophagus has been completely absorbed. Ling Yun also took control of the Nether Sun and gradually fused it into her body. I just obtained this small Nether Sun. I still need some time to adapt to it. I will let this small Nether Sun release formidable power as soon as possible. Ling Yun very happily smiled, then threw herself at Xiaqiru, hugged this great beauty, and bounced up and down. Qin Yun is watching from the side. His teeth are itching. When Ling Yun hugged Xie Karu, she is not honest at all. All right, we will end our joint cultivation. There is still a battle outside. Qin Yun walked over and said to Xie Karu, because Xie Karu is about to leave, Ling Yun is very sad and can only kiss Xie Karu again. Yin don't be sad. We will definitely meet often in the future. Xie Karu gently smiled and caressed Ling Yun's face. Ling Yun nodded and said with smile, I will definitely make Xiao Yun stronger. Goodbye. Xie Karu said. Qin Yun and Xie Karu finished their joint cultivation. Xie Karu also disappeared from Qin Yun's illusory space. That immoral elf. Qin Yun groaned. Xie Karu only chuckled a few times and did not say anything. She is already used to it. After all, she is often together with Xiao Yuelon and Yu Shaoling. Let's go out and fight. Xie Karu took out a long sword. Qin Yun took out the floating cloud rod. After they left the heaven-leaping shuttle, they immediately rushed to the place with the most heavenly guards. The sea outside is roaring. The battle between the powerful heaven ancient race people and the heavenly guards set off a storm, causing the sea to be in a state of rage and churning. Qin Yun can sense which ones are heavenly guards and which ones are not. After he rushed over, he directly poured the absolute yang power into the floating cloud rod and smashed it onto a heavenly guard's body. Boom! The floating cloud rod absorbed the absolute yang power and exploded with an even stronger power. When it landed on the armored heavenly guard's body, a shockwave burst out. The armored heavenly guard was smashed by the rod and immediately screamed in pain. His body exploded from the violent shockwave. The heavenly guard's armor is very strong and it doesn't seem to be damaged. However, their bodies were torn apart by the shockwave. One must know that Qin Yun absorbed a large amount of divine universe purple energy to cultivate. His absolute yang power contains a very strong divine universe purple energy. It can't be said that the divine universe purple energy can restrain the heavenly guards, but can erupt with a very strong power and cause great damage to the heavenly guards. It is also because of the powerful divine universe purple energy on Qin Yun's body that the heavenly guards who were beaten up by him felt very shocked. If Qin Yun did not beat them up, they would have thought that Qin Yun was a very strong heavenly guard. These heavenly guards are not very strong. They are much weaker than the youth with the heavenly Dao folding fan that Yang Shuriwei killed earlier. Qin Yun can smash one of these heavenly guards with a single rod. However, these heavenly guards are much stronger than the evil dragon city's evil spirits and heavenly monsters. The evil dragon city's evil spirits and heavenly monsters are larger in size and more berserk. Only when they go all out would they be able to defeat these heavenly guards. These heavenly guards actually didn't go to support the evil dragon city before. Qin Yun smashed more than 10 heavenly guards in one go and felt very puzzled. If there were enough powerful heavenly guards to support the evil dragon city, the evil dragon city would not have been destroyed. The divine universe evil dragon might even have been able to take down the 9 heaven lion. Chapter 1927. Because of the special nature of the Cloud Dragon mountain range, the divine Cosmos Evil Dragon could still stay here. As for the stronger Sacred Transformation Realm experts, it would be very difficult for them to stay in the Cloud Dragon mountain range. The Immortal Desolate Sacred Master, Heartless Immortal Venerable, and Ancient Ox Devil were all Sacred Transformation Realm experts. Because they could stay in the Immortal Desolate, they could also stay in the Cloud Dragon mountain range. The reason why they were able to make an exception was because they gave up on entering the Sacred Desolate. It could be said that they would never go there. Therefore, in the Cloud Dragon mountain range, the strongest could only be a Sacred Transformation Realm expert, like the Ancient Ox Devil. Any stronger would not do and would destroy the Order of Space. This kind of order was set up when the Nine Suns' heavenly domain was created. If the divine Cosmos Evil Dragon recovered its powerful strength, it might also be sucked into the divine Desolate. The reason why the Heaven Burial Mausoleum was released is definitely to let both of you suffer. Ling Yun'er said, The guy who arranged all of this behind the scenes can sit on the mountain and watch the tigers fight. Qin Yun said, "They won't succeed. As long as one had enough power, if one could suppress the other side, both sides would not suffer." Qin Yun crazily slaughtered the heavenly guards, but these heavenly guards did not know that Qin Yun was the target they were looking for. What made Qin Yun somewhat depressed was that after these heavenly guards died, they did not have remnant souls, causing him to be unable to take them away. If there were remnant souls with so many powerful heavenly guards, they would definitely be good sacrificial offerings. Although Siekaru was usually a gentle and charming beauty, she did not even blink when she killed the heavenly guards. When she was killing the heavenly guards, she looked so quiet and gentle. Although she was engaged in a fierce battle, it did not cover up her gentleness. When Qin Yun saw that Siekaru was very strong, he wondered if she could defeat a sacred transformation realm expert. Although there were more and more heavenly guards, they were being killed faster and faster. The heavenly guards that came later were also becoming weaker and weaker. The divine universe, purple chi on their bodies, was very thin. Facing the ancient heaven race beastmen, they were torn apart in an instant. The sea below was still churning, but the seawater had turned blood red. The divine universe, purple chi in the heavenly guards' bodies had returned, but their bodies were made of flesh and blood. Qin Yun suddenly felt that something was amiss because the heavenly guards seemed endless. Even though they knew that he would die, they still rushed over. Siekaru had previously said that the heavenly guards were bred from some kind of life creation pool. As long as there was enough divine cosmos purple chi, they could quickly breed sufficiently powerful heavenly guards. The heavenly guards passed through the spatial rift and crazily came over from the natural law divine realm. The heavenly guards' target was Qin Yun. They wanted to snatch Qin Yun's dragon pearl. But now, Qin Yun felt that things were not that simple. Siekaru also suddenly stopped and flew to Qin Yun's side. She lightly shouted to Yang Shuriyue and Lu Yu, "Quickly come over, don't deal with those guys." After Lu Yue Shuyin and Yang Shuriyue flew over, Qin Yun released the Heaven Leaping Shuttle and teleported them in. Siekaru can easily enter the Heaven Leaping Shuttle because she is also one of the Heaven Leaping Shuttle's owners. Xiaoro, what happened? There are more and more heavenly guards, but they're getting weaker. Lu Yu Shuyin was in the control room of the Heaven Leaping Shuttle, looking at the surging scarlet sea. The methods of a natural law divine realm are truly high. They pretended to come to snatch Xiao Yun's dragon pearl, but in reality, they have other goals. Siekaru frowned slightly and said, "They should be carrying out a sacrificial ceremony." Yang Shuriyue said, "They must have promised the divine universe evil dragon that they would help find the dragon pearl. They sent a large number of heavenly guards to besiege the heaven old race, just to put on an act for the divine universe evil dragon to see, and also to carry out a sacrificial ceremony?" Yes. After Siekaru finished speaking, she looked at the sky. The sky was dark and scarlet, as if a large amount of blood energy had drifted into the air, forming a cloud that emitted a dark red glow. This place can't be considered the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range, right? Qin Yun said, "What are they doing?" "This place is about to be devoured by the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range. Doing this might be a negotiation with the Cloud Dragon to provide the Cloud Dragon with flesh and blood for the Cloud Dragon to cultivate." Siekaru said, "This was a sacrifice to the Cloud Dragon." Lu Yu Shuyin said, "The Cloud Dragon Mountain Range is constantly expanding. Sooner or later, it will devour this entire sea, and it will also devour a large amount of blood." Siekaru shook her head. "This might be a scheme of the heavenly law divine realm. They want to transform into a cloud dragon. I hope that the Cloud Dragon can remain clear-headed and not fall into their trap." The Cloud Dragon was very mysterious, but no one knew if he was strong or not. Right now, everyone only knew that the Cloud Dragon was the spirit of the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range and knew a lot of things. "Look over there," Yang Shuriyue suddenly shouted. Qin Yun and company immediately looked to the side. It was the direction of the coast. In that direction, A large amount of yellow sand was rolling over, engulfing the churning sea. The Cloud Dragon Mountain Range was expanding, and it was unknown where so much yellow sand came from. The yellow sand continued to gush out, filling up the deep sea in an instant. The sea was disappearing, Siekaru said. It seems like the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range can devour the energy contained in the sea and continuously create sand. Lu Yushuyin said in shock. Xiaoro, why does the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range have such an ability? Because the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range was once the holy land of creation. Back then, there were many places in the 9 desolate lands that were seas. The creator of the heavens used the power of the inscription to turn the sea into yellow sand and then into soil. Siekaru said, the Cloud Dragon must have grasped the power of this inscription. At this moment, a large number of Heaven Old Race people flew into the air. The island of the Heaven Old Race would definitely be engulfed by this large amount of yellow sand. Qin Yun said in shock, then what about Yulan and the rest? They are still in the sacred land of the heaven-suppressing sect. Don't worry, the city of the heaven-suppressing sect can float. Siekaru said, the heavenly guards seemed to be accompanied by a large amount of yellow sand. There was still a large number of heavenly guards flying over. Countless heavenly guards were like a sea of people constantly attacking from the sky and the land. The heavenly guards that came later were getting weaker and weaker. It was as if they were used to fill the sea, and they no longer attacked the people of the Heaven Old Race. Qin Yun said with a frown, what the hell is going on? The heavenly guards are actually cooperating with the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range to fill the sea? This is not filling the sea. It's devouring the space where the sea is located. Siekaru said, the bottom of the Heaven Leaping Shuttle was already a stretch of yellow sand. The yellow sand continued to move forward at a very fast speed. Accompanied by a large number of heavenly monsters, the sea was constantly being filled up. The smaller islands of the Heaven Old Race were all submerged in the yellow sand. More than half of the Oxhead Mountain was still visible. Qin Yun said, looks like the heavenly guards that want to capture me are only the first batch. The rest are all here to die. Siekaru nodded and said, this is a new land. It is built from the flesh and blood of the divine universe, purple chi. It can make this land even stronger. Lu Yushuyin said, Xiaoro, do you have a way to contact Yunlong? Siekaru shook her head and said, there's nothing I can do. Yunlong is very strange. It seems like this guy wants to create a new heavenly domain separate from the 9 suns' heavenly domain, form his own body, and become a master of the heavenly domain. Can he succeed? This is the place where the Heaven Burial Mausoleum is placed. Qin Yun said, as long as he can get rid of the Heaven Burial Mausoleum, he will succeed. It seems like Yunlong is trying his best to cut off his connection with the 9 suns' heavenly realm. He has even evolved his own spatial laws. Siekaru said, the fact that Yunlong had evolved a new spatial law meant that people from other heavenly realms could not come as they pleased. The spatial laws of the 9 suns' heavenly realm and the 3,000 heavenly realms were one, so the other heavenly realms could easily enter the 9 suns' heavenly realm. Qin Yun looked towards the depths of the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range, and suddenly felt that this place was not simple at all. The situation was so complicated that it was hard to imagine. The fall of the 9 suns is the weakest period of the 9 suns' heavenly realm. The Cloud Dragon Mountain Range might really succeed. Lu Yushuyin said, let's go to Heaven Suppressing Sect first. Siekaru said, those fellows from Heaven Suppressing Sect might know something. At this time, a large number of people from the Heaven Old Race flew towards the Heaven Suppressing Sect. They seemed to want to discuss this matter with the Heaven Suppressing Sect. The Cloud Dragon Mountain Range expanded very quickly. When Qin Yun controlled the Heaven Leaping Shuttle to fly towards the Heaven Suppressing Sect, it was filled with yellow sand. A large number of Heavenly Guard corpses seemed to have merged into the yellow sand. The Cloud Dragon Mountain Range had a large number of corpses of Heavenly Guards. The natural law divine realm was very mysterious, They definitely knew that the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range was going to be independent. Helping the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range meant that they had an exchange of benefits with Yunlong. Qin Yun was very worried that Yunlong would join hands with the natural law divine realm. If that was the case, then they would be in danger. Furthermore, the natural law divine realm might even be able to find the dragon heart of the divine universe evil dragon and the main heavenly mausoleum. Xiaorou, does Yunlong know where the most important main heavenly mausoleum is? Lu Yushuyan asked. I don't know. That's what I'm worried about as well. Siekiru gently shook her head. She kept looking forward with a heavy heart. The city where the heaven-suppressing sect was located was indeed floating in the air. What was shocking was that the city was being attacked by a large number of heavenly guards. That group of heavenly guards. What's going on? Qin Yun shouted in shock. It's the great heavenly guard, an even stronger heavenly guard, Siekiru said with a frown. The heavenly guards besieging the heaven-suppressing sect were all close to 3 meters tall. They wore golden armor and black cloaks. On their cloaks were the 2 blood-red words, Heavenly Tao. There weren't many of these great heavenly guards, only a few hundred of them. The weapons in their hands were all very large and powerful as they crazily attacked the barrier of the heaven-suppressing sect. Everyone could tell that these few hundred heavenly guards were much stronger than the large group from before. When the people of the ancient heaven race saw the heavenly guards, they immediately rushed over. Let's go and help. The heaven-suppressing sect is on the same side as us. Don't let the heaven-suppressing sect fall. Siekiru said. The ancient heaven race also thought so. So when the ancient ox demon and the others saw the great heavenly guards attacking the heaven-suppressing sect, they rushed forward without saying a word. Chapter 1928. Although the ancient heaven race and the heaven-suppressing sect usually had a little conflict, at this critical moment, they would join forces to fight against their common enemy. The natural law divine realm was very strong. If either heaven old race or heaven suppressing school were to be exterminated, the remaining one would also be exterminated. Therefore, once the natural law divine realm attacked one of them, the other side would not stand idly by. Not only were the great heavenly guards sent by the natural law divine realm very strong, the golden armor on their bodies also had a very special ability. When they got close to them, they would be bombarded by the lightning released from their bodies. The armors of these heavenly guards have the ability to fight back automatically. With his extinction spirit eye, Qin Yun could see many runes inside the great heavenly guard's golden armor absorbing energy. The great heavenly guards also cultivate divine, cosmos, purple energy. Their runes absorb the divine, cosmos, purple energy, making them stronger. Let's be careful. These heavenly guards are very powerful, Siekiru said and rushed toward the heavenly guard. Luiyue Shuyan and Yang Shuriwe also found their own targets and participated in the battle. Qin Yun observed carefully and found that the heavenly guard's armor not only had strong defensive power, but it could also absorb all kinds of energy and then transform it into lightning to counterattack. Yang Shuri used slender silver saber slashed down on the helmet of a great heavenly guard, producing an explosive sound. The resulting shockwave was also very strong. However, the great heavenly guard seemed to be fine. The moment his body was struck by Yang Shuriwe, a fierce lightning suddenly erupted. Yang Shuryu had no choice but to divert a portion of her power to block the lightning. Almost everyone who attacked the heavenly guards was in the same situation. The people of the heaven old race were all caught up in a bitter battle. Several of them had joined forces to besiege a heavenly guard, but they were unable to gain any advantage. Instead, they were struck by the lightning that erupted. These guys' armors are really awesome. While flying over, Qin Yun's floating cloud staff condensed a berserk power. A great heavenly guard suddenly charged at Qin Yun, thrusting his spear at him. Qin Yun dodged the golden battle spear and smashed the floating cloud staff into the heavenly guard's head. Rumble. Qin Yun's staff strike was very powerful. It was the 9-style heavenly annihilation, Heaven Shaker. However, the more powerful his attack was, the more ferocious the lightning that erupted from the heavenly guard's armor. Qin Yun thought that his violent strike could kill the heavenly guard at once. After all, the turbulent vibration power was so terrible that it was enough to shake the body through the armor. Just like everyone else, he had greatly underestimated the power of those golden armors. Qin Yun did not resist, so he was struck by the lightning that suddenly burst out, causing his body to feel numb. The great heavenly guard was ruthlessly struck by the rod. His armor exploded with a powerful lightning bolt that struck Qin Yun. This was originally a very good opportunity to attack, but the might of Qin Yun's rod was too strong. The great heavenly guard seemed to have been struck silly. Qin Yun's body felt numb for a moment, but the pain quickly disappeared. He immediately used the one-thought Imperial Heaven Art and used a very strong mental power attack. The powerful mental attack hit the heavenly guard, but it didn't take long for Qin Yun to feel a strong mental power rebound. He was shocked and hurriedly protected his mind and body. The heavenly guard armor could also absorb psychic attacks and turn them into lightning to counterattack. That counterattack was also a psychic attack. Qin Yun protected himself from the counterattack and at the same time retreated, no longer attacking the great heavenly guard. He can't think of an effective method, so he didn't continue attacking the great heavenly guard. Continuing to attack is completely useless. The ancient ox devil's body has been hit by the lightning countless times, but he is still very brave and ferocious. He waved the rod in his hand and kept smashing the great heavenly guards. Qin Yun noticed that the ancient ox devil also used inscription battle technique to attack before, but it still had no effect. Those golden armors are very strange. They can absorb any kind of formidable power and then turn it into violent lightning to counterattack. Yang Shuriyue and the others are very cautious. They're dealing with the great heavenly guards and looking for their flaws. Siekaru suddenly flew to Qin Yun's side and said in low voice, "Xiao Yun, the lightning released by the great heavenly guard's armor is a bit like heavenly punishment lightning. Even if you use your body's power to attack, you will be counterattacked." "I know." Qin Yun nodded and said, "Sister Karu, do you have any way to deal with these guys?" "Not at the moment. Their armors are too powerful. They must be from the divine Desolate," Siekaru said and rushed towards the great heavenly guards again to continue fighting. What they can do now is to suppress the great heavenly guards as much as possible, not letting them break through the heaven-suppressing sect and not letting them kill the ancient heaven race people. Within the heaven-suppressing sect, powerful elders also came out to help deal with the great heavenly guards. Qin Yun attacked the great heavenly guards again. He used many methods, such as divine ability power, inscription battle technique, heavenly might Dao technique, and so on, but they were all useless. Ling Yun suddenly said, "Xiao Yun, the armor on these guys is very strong. Not only is it difficult to break through, it can also reflect power. I guess that after the armor is stimulated by strong power, it will absorb the power and then release lightning. In other words, we have to use gentle attacks." Qin Yun said in his heart, "As long as it's an attack, it means that the power is very strong. It will definitely stimulate the armor." "That's right. However, if we use a very strong and tough thing to tie up their bodies and then put them into the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron to seal them, wouldn't that be fine?" Ling Yun said, "Use the power of the divine tree totem to tie them up." Qin Yun immediately tried to release the tree claws and grabbed a great heavenly guard. After the tree claws formed by the tree vines and roots grabbed the great heavenly guard, just as Qin Yun was about to release the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron, the great heavenly guard's body burst out with a burst of lightning and shattered the tree claws. In this way, it would be very difficult to put the great heavenly guard into the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron. The strength of the great heavenly guard is not weak. It is impossible for them to obediently be put into the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron. They must make the great heavenly guard lose the power to resist. It won't work. The tree claws I released are formed through energy. When I grab it tightly, The armor will definitely be stimulated and then devour the power of the tree claws. Qin Yun said, use the divine dragon's dragon tendon. Ling Yun said again, this kind of thing is very tough and it is not formed by energy. It will not be damaged. When attacking the great heavenly guard, even if a weaker weapon was used to bombard their golden armor, it would not be damaged. It can be seen that the power of the armor cannot damage powerful materials. Qin Yun has a lot of divine dragon's dragon tendon in his hands. He immediately took out a dragon tendon and used his powerful mental power to control the dragon tendon, making it flexible like a swift snake. The golden dragon tendon is as big as a water tank. After being thrown out by Qin Yun, it tied up a great heavenly guard. In the blink of an eye, the great heavenly guard was tied up like a rice dumpling. Although the great heavenly guard body burst out a lot of lightning, the lightning became very weak after penetrating the dragon tendon. Success! Qin Yun was secretly happy and said with a smile, great beauty in you are really smart. Ling Yun smiled faintly and said, it's nothing. With my wisdom, this is just a piece of cake. Qin Yun promptly took out the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron and swung the very long dragon tendon, throwing the great heavenly guard that was tied up at the end into the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron. Use something that can be tied up, tie up all these things, and throw them into my cauldron. Qin Yun suddenly shouted, that cauldron, could it be the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron? The ancient ox devil shouted in alarm. It is the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron. Elder Li of the heaven suppressing sect shouted with certainty. When the elders of the ancient heaven race and the heaven suppressing sect saw the appearance of the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron, they all exclaimed in admiration. The heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron turned into a small mountain and floated below. Qin Yun used the dragon tendon to tie up the great heavenly guards and threw them into the cauldron. Although the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron was wide open, the inside was bottomless and pitch black. Anything that was thrown in would be suppressed by the seal inside the cauldron. The azure dragon's arm suddenly turned into a huge azure dragon claw. He fiercely grabbed a great heavenly guard and flew towards the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron, smashing the great heavenly guard into it. Everyone now understood that as long as they captured the great heavenly guards and threw them into the cauldron, it would be fine. They couldn't kill them, but they could temporarily prevent the great heavenly guards from attacking. Although the great heavenly guards were strong, they could still be taken down by many people. It was just that their armor was very powerful. Everyone used all sorts of methods to capture the great heavenly guards and threw them into the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron. The number of great heavenly guards decreased. The remaining great heavenly guards fled, but they couldn't escape far. They were chased and captured by the heaven-suppressing sect and the ancient heaven clan. Just like that, the great heavenly guards who were attacking the heaven-suppressing sect were all captured and thrown into the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron. Qin Yun put away the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron. He was secretly delighted. The great heavenly guards were inside his cauldron. That was a few thousand sets of powerful armor. Sect Master Qin is truly wise to think of such a brilliant plan. Elder Li's old face was filled with smiles as he said to Qin Yun, the heavenly law divine realm has shed all pretense of cordiality and wants to start a war with us. This time, with the addition of Sect Master Qin's inscription gate, we will definitely be able to defeat those fellows. The ancient ox devil laughed. Old ox, your archipelago has been buried, right? How about this? You guys stay in our heaven-suppressing sect for the time being. We have a lot of space inside. Elderly laughed. That's fine too. The ancient ox devil nodded. He had brought almost 20,000 people from the ancient heaven clan with him. If the heaven-suppressing sect accepted these powerful people from the ancient heaven clan, they would have a certain level of confidence if they were to face the attack of the heavenly law divine realm. Sect Master Qin, you are also our esteemed guest. Let's discuss how to deal with the heavenly law divine realm and how to explore the heaven burial mausoleum. Elderly walked over and said with a smile. They had a conflict before, but now, everyone tacitly didn't mention it, as if nothing had happened. Let's go in quickly. Siekiru smiled and said. Chapter 1929. Army? Are they very strong? Chinyan asked. They must be very strong, Elderly said. Let's enter the heaven-suppressing sect first. At least we'll be safe inside. The ancient bull demon looked at the sky with a solemn expression. In the dusky crimson sky, blood-colored lightning roared and waves of violent pressure came crashing down. It seems that the heavenly law divine realm intends to kill us. The ancient bull demon said in a deep voice. This might be our final battle in the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range. Elder Pang sighed. Everyone entered the heaven-suppressing sect one after another. After entering, a blood cloud emitting red light flew over from afar. A large number of powerful heavenly law divine realm heavenly guards flew over on clouds and mist, filled with ruthless killing intent and berserk heavenly might. The heaven-suppressing sect is extremely large, with thick and tall walls. Furthermore, there are many powerful barriers protecting it. After entering the huge city of the heaven-suppressing sect, everyone temporarily felt relieved. The ancient Heaven clan and the heaven-suppressing sect understood the heavenly law divine realm the most. They immediately found a hall and discussed how to fight against the heavenly law divine realm. As for Qin Yun, Yang Shuriwei, and Liu Shuyan, they followed Siekaru and flew towards the west side of the huge city. Siekaru and the others were treated pretty well in the heaven-suppressing sect and had a very good residence. Xiao Yuelon and the others were still cultivating in the sacred ground all day long. Cultivating in that sacred ground allowed them to reach the peak of the immortal emperor realm even faster. On the west side of the heaven-suppressing sect, there is a garden with mountains and rivers. There are many beautiful flowers planted there. If the sky wasn't filled with scarlet clouds, this garden wouldn't have become so gloomy. There's a wooden building in this garden, which is where Siekaru and the others used to live. As for how to deal with the heavenly law divine realm, Qin Yun, Siekaru, and the others did not participate in the discussion. This is because they only have so few people, so it's useless to know. The heaven-suppressing sect and the ancient Heaven clan are also discussing how to coordinate the forces of both sides to fight against the heavenly law divine realm. Their main goal is to break through the encirclement of the heavenly guards and explore the heavenly burial tomb. Qin Yun came to the small hall of the wooden building and sat down. He said, I thought that if the heaven-suppressing sect and the ancient Heaven clan join hands, they would be able to crush the heavenly law divine realm. The current natural law divine realm is very strong. That's why they can't deal with it. Siekaru said, Xiao Yun, you also saw those heavenly armor guard from before. That kind of guy is something that Heaven Ancient Race and Heaven Suppressing Sect have never met before. Heavenly armor guards? Were we dealing with the heavenly guards just now? Yang Shuryu asked. Yes. Their strongest point is that set of heavenly armor. Sieru sighed. If Xiao Yun hadn't suddenly thought of a way, we might still be bitterly resisting the heavenly armor guards. While we were defending, the natural law divine realm's army suddenly arrived. Then we would be finished. Liu Shuyan said. It's not over yet. We still don't know what kind of people have come from the natural law divine realm, and how many experts have come. Siekaru looked at Qin Yun and said, Little Yun, you better hurry up and study those heavenly armors and see if there's any way to break them. Sister Kiru, can you tell me how these heavenly armors are formed? Qin Yun asked. Those are things that the natural law divine realm created many years ago. It is said that they are armor formed from the power of the heavenly Tao. Siekaru said, those fellows from the natural law divine realm can indeed control a very strong power of the heavenly Tao, but they are definitely not the heavenly Tao. Qin Yun nodded and said, I'll go study it now and try my best to find a way to break it. Hurry up and go. The things formed from the power of the heavenly Tao will return to the heavenly Tao at any time. Don't think that you can really obtain so many heavenly armors, Siekiru urged. Qin Yun walked out of the wooden building and released the Sky Leaping Shuttle. Then, he entered the Sky Leaping Shuttle's large warehouse. In the spacious warehouse, he first released the 9 Dragons' Heavenly Origin Formation and then grabbed a Heavenly Armor Guard from the Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppression Cauldron. The Heavenly Armor Guard was sealed within the 9 Dragons' Heavenly Origin Formation and was unable to break through the seal and return to the Heavenly Tao. Xiao Yun, the power of those heavenly armors will quickly dissipate. You have to think of a way to preserve them. Ling Yun said, hurry up and use the 9 Dragons' Heavenly Origin Formation to surround the Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppression Cauldron. Don't let the power of the Heavenly Tao inside dissipate. Qin Yun immediately did as he was told. He controlled the 9 dragon vein heavenly sabers and distanced them from each other, forming a larger circle. This way, he could seal even more things. The Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppression Cauldron is in the middle of the 9 Dragons' Heavenly Origin Formation, and the Heavenly Armor Guards inside are all sealed. The 9 Dragons' Heavenly Origin Formation can seal the power of the Heavenly Tao. Ling Yun said, the Heavenly Armor is formed from the power of the Heavenly Tao. There are many things that can be studied. Qin Yun entered the 9 Dragons' Heavenly Origin Formation. The Heavenly Armor Guard that was captured was bound by the 9 chains released by the 9 Dragons' Heavenly Origin Formation and was unable to struggle free. The 9 Dragons' Heavenly Origin Formation is truly a powerful formation. The power of the Heavenly Armor is sealed. Qin Yun walked over and punched the golden armor, causing the Heavenly Armor Guard to cry out loudly. The golden Heavenly Armor was unable to absorb energy, much less release lightning. These heavenly armors are really good stuff. The power of the Heavenly Tao can directly transform into this kind of armor. Qin Yun felt that it was somewhat inconceivable. This is not a difficult matter. With enough energy and good runes, it can transform into weapons and armor. Ling Yun said, if there are more runes on the weapon-shaped trees in the Cloud Dragon Mountain range, they can become weapons. That's right, in the inscription battle technique, using runes to draw weapons, infusing enough blood soul power, the weapons will also be very strong. Qin Yun said with a nod. Previously, when he was fighting in the inscription battle, he had drawn weapon runes to fight. Ling Yun said with a smile. Simply put, these powerful heavenly armors are equivalent to being quickly drawn by an inscription battle master. However, the energy used is the mysterious power of the Heavenly Tao. Qin Yun asked Mo to come out and let her look at the runes on the heavenly armor. Mo, can you see the dark lines on the heavenly armor? Qin Yun asked. He could only see the bright lines. Yes. Mo nodded her cute little head and said sweetly. 2 rays of white light shot out from her eyes and shone on the heavenly armor. Mo was the high priest of the magical fairies. She was constantly cultivating and growing within the 9-sun divine spirit. She could eat all kinds of good things all day long, and the energy she obtained allowed her to grow very quickly. Not long after, Mo saw through all the runes on the heavenly armor and then passed it to Qin Yun. After Qin Yun received it, he was extremely shocked. Heavenly Armor Rune. This seems to have evolved from the Heavenly Rune. Although it is not a Tao derivation rune, it is still a very strong, sacred rune. Qin Yun said in shock. Since he could see the dark lines, Qin Yun could find a way to crack them and find the main node runes when the Heavenly Armor Rune was operating. After some research, Qin Yun began testing. He first controlled the 9 Dragons' Heavenly Origin Formation and released the Heavenly Armor Guard. After the Heavenly Armor Guard was released, it angrily charged at Qin Yun and roared at him. Qin Yun pressed his 2 fingers together and quickly dodged, arriving behind the Heavenly Armor Guard. His 2 fingers quickly tapped a few times on the armor on the back of the Heavenly Armor Guard. He condensed the power of the Blood Soul and combined it with the power of the 9 fingers of Absolute Heaven, entered the armor, and destroyed a few key runes. If one didn't know where the key point was, it would be impossible to accurately hit it. If one couldn't hit a place, the armor would devour the power of the attack and then explode with a lightning counterattack. Qin Yun tapped 7 times in a row, almost in an instant. He tapped on very accurate points and smoothly caused the heavenly armor to temporarily lose its effect. This only caused the runes within the heavenly armor to lose effect for a period of time. After a period of time, the runes would recover again. The heavenly armor guard's heavenly armor had lost its effect. Qin Yun used the 9 fingers of absolute heaven to pierce through the heavens and hit the heavenly armor guard's heart. Boom! With an explosive sound, a berserk power pierced through the golden heavenly armor. The heavenly armor guard let out a painful cry as a bowl-sized hole appeared in his chest. Success! Qin Yun faintly smiled, then punched with both fists and unleashed absolute yang power filled with ferocious flame. Scorching hot fists accompanied by sacred flame whistled and landed on the heavenly armor guard's body. In an instant, the heavenly armor guard was torn apart. The flame fist energy of each fist pierced through the heavenly armor guard's thick and large body. After the heavenly armor guard was killed, the heavenly armor guard turned into heavenly Tao power. Qin Yun looked at the golden heavenly Tao power and said with frown, "Is this heavenly Tao power? What kind of power is this?" Ling Yuner said, "Suck it in and take a look. This is heavenly Tao power. What if this heavenly Tao power tortures me?" Qin Yun is somewhat worried. "What are you afraid of?" "It's just a little bit," Ling Yuner said with a smile. "She's not afraid at all." "All right." After Qin Yun agreed, Ling Yuner and Qin Yun controlled the Nether Sun together and absorbed the golden heavenly Tao power. After absorbing it, Qin Yun and Ling Yuner are pleasantly surprised to see that the heavenly Tao power can be quickly refined by the Nether Sun naturally. After the Nether Sun refined the heavenly Tao power, what absorbed the heavenly Tao power is the mysterious heavenly Tao divine rune. The heavenly Tao divine rune has always been hidden inside Qin Yun's Nether Sunday. It will appear from time to time. It is very mysterious. Now, the heavenly Tao divine rune is absorbing the heavenly Tao power. Is the heavenly Tao divine rune going to evolve? Ling Yuner said with a smile. This mysterious heavenly Tao divine rune will definitely bring us formidable power. I will slowly unearth it in the future. In short, with this heavenly Tao divine rune, my comprehension ability seems to be even better. I can comprehend even more things. Qin Yun mischievously laughed and said, "There's still many heavenly armor guards inside the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron. The heavenly armor guard's body is connected to the heavenly armor. Once the heavenly armor is finished, the heavenly armor guard's body will also become heavenly Tao power." Qin Yun can sense that the heavenly Tao divine rune is very hungry. It needs this kind of heavenly Tao power. The 9-dragon heavenly origin formation released energy and entered the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron. It began refining the heavenly armor guards inside the cauldron. The refining process is also relatively fast. The power of the heavenly Tao power is very crazy. It caused the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron to tremble unceasingly. Qin Yun had no choice but to release the Nether Sun to quickly absorb the heavenly Tao power. The Nether Sun devoured the heavenly Tao power very quickly. It was all absorbed by the heavenly Tao divine rune inside. Chapter 1930. The 3 heavenly Tao stances that Qin Yun had previously cultivated were all cultivated through the heavenly Tao divine runes. The process back then was rather mysterious. "Whatever, I'll feed this heavenly God rune first," Qin Yun said with a smile. "The heavenly Tao divine rune is mine. I should be able to control a portion of the heavenly Tao's power. If the fellows from the natural law divine realm were to send a large number of heavenly armor guards, then it would be much easier to deal with them." Ling Yuner said, by studying the heavenly armor guards, Qin Yun had not only found a way to crack the heavenly armor guards, but he had also made a huge discovery. It allowed the heavenly Tao divine runes to absorb heavenly Tao powers. A day later, Qin Yun walked out of the heaven-leaping shuttle. Xie Keru and Liu Shuyan are not in the wooden building. Only Yang Shiryu is there. Big Sister Yang, why are you the only one here? Where's Sister Kiru and the rest? When Qin Yun arrived at the hall, he saw a beautiful woman in a white dress. She was sitting by the table with her hands supporting her cheeks as she read a book. They're all going to the heaven-suppressing sect's sacred land to cultivate. I don't want to go, so I'll wait here for you to come out. When Yang Shiryu saw Qin Yun come out, she did not put down the book. Her beautiful eyes were still staring at the book. After Qin Yun walked over, he leaned over and kissed the beauty's fragrant jade face. Then, he looked at the contents of the book. What are you looking at? Qin Yun asked with a frown. He could not see anything. The page of the book was blank, without a single word. Yang Shiryu chuckled. Of course you can't see it, because you don't cultivate the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra. Men cannot master the Sun Moon Heart Sutra. Only women can. Big Sister Yang, what exactly is on it? Quickly tell me. Qin Yun hugged Yang Shiryu from behind and asked curiously. This is the other part of the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra. I can't tell you the specifics. Yang Shiryu smiled tenderly and said, Xiao Yun, you can learn it, but you will become a girl. Qin Yun curled his lips and combed Yang Shiryu's beautiful long hair. He asked, How's the situation outside? It seems to be very quiet. Did the fellows from the natural law divine realm not attack the heaven-suppressing sect? Not at the moment, but there are many fellows from a natural law divine realm wandering around outside, and the heaven-suppressing sect is also investigating the situation. Yang Shiryu said, I'm guessing that the heavenly guards of the natural law divine realm want to trap us here and prevent us from going out to search for the heaven burial mausoleum. Yang Shiryu put down the book in her hand and stood up. She stroked her long hair to her chest, making her look elegant and moving. Big Sister Yang, I have successfully broken the heavenly armor's defense. Qin Yun said with a smile. Really? How do I break it? Yang Shiryu was pleasantly surprised and said with a gentle smile, Little Yun, you're really amazing. You really didn't disappoint us. Qin Yun giggled as he hugged Yang Shiryu and let her sit on his lap. Then, he beautifully embraced her. Hugging the elegant beauty in his arms, he explained the entire process in detail. It's really difficult to break through the defense of the heavenly armor. It seems like only an inscription master like you who is proficient in inscriptions can do it. Yang Shiryu nodded. Don't worry, I plan to make a talisman tool. This way, when Sister Yang and you face the heavenly armor guard, you can also kill them. Qin Yun said with a smile. That's great. Yang Shiryu smiled sweetly and looked at Qin Yun tenderly. Her beautiful eyes suddenly flickered with a blurry light. Qin Yun looked at the delicate beauty in his arms. The two of them looked at each other affectionately and hugged each other tightly. Then, they couldn't help but kiss each other. The two of them kissed each other sweetly, feeling very happy in their hearts. Big Sister Yang, I'll go make talismans now. Qin Yun kissed Yang Shiryu's cheek and said, We might be leaving the huge city of heaven-suppressing gate soon. At that time, those heavenly armor guards will be our great enemies. We have to be prepared. Yang Shiryu gently caressed Qin Yun's cheek and smiled tenderly. Don't worry, with us here, we will definitely help you find your sealed 8 souls and 9 spirits. Qin Yun kissed the red lips of the beauty in his arms again before happily entering the heaven-leaping shuttle. Yang Shiryu also felt sweet in her heart as she continued to study the other part of the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra. In the warehouse of the heaven-leaping shuttle, Qin Yun released the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation. He sat in the middle of the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation and took out a piece of holy talisman paper. Zi Qingsheng and the others were in the 9 Yang divine spirit, and whenever they had time, they would make holy talisman paper. They were rather slow when making them. This was to ensure that they could make better holy talisman paper. What Qin Yun wanted to refine now was a talisman tool. Not only did he need holy talisman paper, he also needed some weapons made from saint-level materials. Zi Qingsheng and Shui Tianzi could also do this. In the 9 Yang divine spirit, They could use a large amount of holy oil. Coupled with the great formation set up by the sacred fire totem and the furnace refined by the sacred fire totem, they could forge a good weapon. In this way, it would be much easier for Qin Yun to craft a talisman tool. The requirements for Qin Yun's holy talisman tool were not very high, so as long as the saint-level materials were good, it would be fine. I want to gather the power of the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation into the rough embryo of the weapon, and then create a talisman to seal the heavenly armor. When the time comes, the holy talisman and the rough embryo of the weapon will fuse into one, and I will be able to create a holy talisman tool. Qin Yun added the power of the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation in order to temporarily suppress the heavenly armor when attacking the heavenly armor guards. Then, he would let the runes release their power and temporarily seal the heavenly armor guards. This way, it will be safer. If he directly used talismans, it would not be easy to hit the heavenly armor guards. However, using a talisman tool would be easier to control. Qin Yun's progress was very smooth. In just half a day, he had created 10 holy talisman tools. They were all in the shape of light golden throwing knives. He didn't have any more heavenly armor guards, so he didn't know if he would succeed. After Qin Yun left, it was already night outside. Yang Shiryu was still sitting in the hall, seriously reading the wordless book. Big Sister Yang, I made a talisman tool. Let's go out and try it. Qin Yun happily ran into the hall. Yang Shiryu put away the book and caressed Qin Yun's cheek. She said with a smile, "So fast, let's go out and try it." Qin Yun pulled Yang Shiryu out of the wooden building. Heaven-suppressing gate was in a huge city. Although this huge city only had one gate, other than the gate, there were many other small passageways. Over the past 2 days, the heaven-suppressing sect had sent people out to investigate the situation from time to time. Qin Yun and Yang Shiryu went straight to heaven-suppressing sect's Elder Pang. When Elder Pang found out that Qin Yun and Yang Shiryu were going out, he was a little worried for them. This was because the situation outside was still unclear, and Qin Yun, the sect leader Qin, was someone that the heaven-suppressing sect valued quite a bit. "Elder Pang, quickly take us out," Qin Yun said with a smile. "I want to go out and test the sacred talisman tool I made." Sect leader Qin, didn't you capture a few thousand heavenly armor guards? Elder Pang said, "Just test it here. It's very dangerous to go out. Those heavenly armor guards are gone. They are formed from the power of heavenly Tao. They have all returned to the heavenly Tao." Qin Yun sighed. "I see," Elder Pang exclaimed. "Elder Pang, you don't need to worry about us. You should be clear about sect leader Qin's strength." Yang Shiryu said. "That's true. Even the ancient ox demon can't beat him." Elder Pang nodded and brought Qin Yun and Yang Shiryu to a secret passage. The huge city where the heaven-suppressing sect was located was floating in the air. The exit of the secret passage was from the bottom of the city. After leaving, Qin Yun pulled Yang Shiryu's hand and made them invisible. Then, they flew towards a blood-colored cloud in front of them. Elder Pang and the others said that most of the heavenly guards surrounding the heaven-suppressing sect are heavenly armor guards. Yang Shiryu transmitted her voice to Qin Yun. "The heavenly guards of the heavenly law divine realm want to trap the ancient heaven race and the heaven-suppressing sect here and prevent them from causing trouble everywhere. If the heaven-suppressing sect and the ancient heaven race are trapped, wouldn't the heavenly law divine realm have very few enemies in the Cloud Dragon Mountain range?" Qin Yun said, "Yes, the strength of the heaven-suppressing sect and the ancient heaven race are not weak. Furthermore, they can contact the higher-ups and ask for support." Yang Shiryu said, "Once they have investigated the situation, they will go out to fight." The heaven-suppressing sect and the ancient heaven race were both under the command of the power behind them. Their main goal was to enter the heaven burial mausoleum and divide up the things sealed inside. "Xiaoyun, can you make those heavenly armors?" Yang Shiryu asked. "Those heavenly armors are very powerful. If we can make them, our defense will be even stronger." "I can't for the time being because it requires a very strong heavenly energy. If I only use the power of the blood soul, I won't be able to unleash the potential power of those inscriptions. Qin Yin shook his head. He had tried it before, but to no avail. He had mastered the complete set of inscriptions on the heavenly armor, but he did not have the power of the heavenly Tao. That kind of heavenly energy is very strong and mysterious. It must be something that only an expert can create. Yang Shiryu said, I might need to go to the divine wasteland. I don't know, but I will continue to study it. Qin Yin felt that it was still possible for him to create the heavenly armor, because he had mastered the heavenly law divine inscription. Not long after they entered the blood mist, they quickly sensed the appearance of the heavenly armor guards. Qin Yin gave Yang Shiryu 10 sacred talisman tools so that she could give it a try and see if she could temporarily destroy the heavenly armor's ability. There are 7 heavenly armor guards. Yang Shiryu transmitted her voice to Qin Yin and said, let's go and scatter them first. Then, I'll try that sacred talisman tool. All right, I'll go first. Qin Yin took out the floating cloud rod. All right, Xiao Yun, does this sacred talisman tool have a name? Yang Shiryu asked. Let's call it the suppression armor sacred talisman tool. After Qin Yin finished speaking, he charged towards the heavenly armor guard squad. Those heavenly armor guards were only patrolling. They were also paying attention to the movements of the heaven-suppressing sect at all times. After Qin Yin rushed over, he swung the floating cloud rod. A dragon tendon came out from the floating cloud rod and instantly tied up 2 heavenly armor guards. After the heavenly lion dragon suppression cauldron came out, it immediately placed the 2 tied-up heavenly armor guards inside. At this moment, Yang Shiryu also rushed over and threw out 3 throwing knives. The throwing knives are the suppression armor sacred talisman tool. They very accurately landed on the 3 heavenly armor guards' bodies. After the 3 heavenly armor guards were hit, their heavenly armor immediately lost its effect. Yang Shiryu flashed over, and the silver saber in her hand quickly slashed out. 3 consecutive slashes cut the 3 heavenly armor guards in half. Chapter 1931. The sacred talisman tool, made by Qin Yin, was extremely effective. After Yang Shiryu used it, she could easily kill the heavenly armor guards. It's very useful. Yang Shiryu smiled and said, Xiao Yun, is this kind of thing easy to refine? The effect is not bad, but it's still quite difficult to refine it in large quantities. Qin Yin sighed softly and said, there must be a lot of heavenly armor guards. To deal with a heavenly armor guard, we have to use a sacred talisman tool. Suddenly, Qin Yin and Yang Shiryu sensed a large number of heavenly armor guards approaching. Yang Shiryu immediately held Qin Yin's hand and said in a low voice, let's go back and talk. Although the 2 of them were not afraid of the heavenly armor guards, it was still quite troublesome to face a large number of them. Furthermore, they did not know what kind of powerful fellows had come from the heavenly law divine realm this time. If a very strong person came to attack them, it would still be very dangerous. Qin Yin and Yang Shiryu immediately flew back to the heaven-suppressing sect. When they left, there was no remnant aura and they were not discovered. The huge city where the heaven-suppressing sect was located was floating in the air. Although it was surrounded by a large number of heavenly guards from the heavenly law divine realm, those heavenly guards did not dare to approach the heaven-suppressing sect. They were mainly worried that they would be attacked by the heaven-suppressing sect formation. Qin Yin and Yang Shiryu arrived at the bottom of the heaven-suppressing sect and returned to the wooden building in the garden through the secret passage. The sacred talisman tool is very useful, but it's difficult to make quickly. Yang Shiryu said as she poured Qin Yin a delicious fruit tea. To deal with ordinary heavenly armor guards, we don't need to waste the sacred talisman tool. We can only use it to deal with the more powerful leaders. Qin Yin said, then take this opportunity to make some. Yang Shiryu kissed Qin Yin's face and said with a smile, it's been hard on you. It's nothing, Qin Yin said with a smile. After he finished drinking the cup of fruit tea, he was about to make a sacred talisman tool when a muffled sound suddenly burst out from within the heaven-suppressing sect. It came from the middle. What's going on? Yang Shiryu's expression changed slightly as she said, "The heaven-suppressing sect has been attacked." Heaven-suppressing gate's defense was still very strong. There were many layers of barriers, especially at a time like this. Not only were all the defensive barriers activated, even the offensive formations were on standby. If someone could break into the heaven-suppressing gate, it meant that the heaven-suppressing gate would soon be finished. No, there's a very strong spatial fluctuation, Qin Yun said with a frown. Could it be that a very strong spatial formation has been activated? Yang Shiryu and Qin Yun walked out of the wooden building and looked in the direction of the voice. There, a beam of light broke through the thick red clouds and shot into the sky. I'll go take a look, Yang Shiryu said. This shouldn't be an invasion. The heaven-suppressing sect seems to be quite calm. Qin Yun looked around. No one was panicking because of this. After Yang Shiryu left, Qin Yun entered the heaven-leaping shuttle and began crafting sacred talisman tools. In order to quickly produce, Qin Yun let Zi Qingsheng and Shui Tianzi come out. He first carved the seal script on their Gemini treasure mirror, then taught them how to merge the seal paper with the seal weapon embryo. Most importantly, he had to channel the power of the Nine Dragons' heavenly origin formation into his practitioner weapon. In order to suppress and seal the power of the heavenly armor, the Nine Dragons' heavenly origin formation is also very important. Zi Qingsheng and Shui Tianzi's perception is very good, especially Shui Tianzi, this charming and alluring demoness. Although she is usually very flirtatious and frivolous, when she is serious, she does it very well. Even Zi Qingsheng admitted that in this aspect, she is inferior to Shui Tianzi. Little brother hubby, big sister has done so well. Don't you want to reward me? Shui Tianzi's charming eyes are like silk. She looked at Qin Yun affectionately. Qin Yun looked at the small throwing knife in her jade-like hand. It is indeed a pretty good sacred talisman tool. Although they used the Gemini treasure mirror to carve the runes, the quality is still very good. This means that she has a certain level of skill. This is not all your credit. There is also Big Sister Steamed Bun. Qin Yun reached out and pinched Zi Qingsheng's jade-like face and said with a smile, "Then you should reward us." Shui Tianzi laughed tenderly, hugged Qin Yun, and said in a low voice. Qin Yun kissed Shui Tianzi. Only then did she feel satisfied and continue crafting sacred talisman tools. Qin Yun extracted a lot of energy from the Nine Dragon heavenly origin formation and condensed it into a pearl. This way, even if the two of them don't have the Nine Dragon heavenly origin formation inside the Nine Sun Divine Spirit, they can still use the energy stored in the pearl to make sacred talisman tools. This made Qin Yun suddenly miss Princess Anya. He wants Princess Anya to look at his furnace even more. Princess Anya and Heaven Creation Palace Master have fused together. She is a sacred inscription master. If she leads Zi Qingsheng and Shui Tianzi to refine tools and materials, it will definitely be twice the result with half the effort. Only Qin Yun would dare to think of letting a powerful woman like Princess Anya look at the furnace fire. Shui Tianzi and Zi Qingsheng used the Gemini treasure mirror together. Their blood soul power is not bad. As long as their Gemini treasure mirror has good runes, they can make qualified sacred talisman tools, or even sacred tools. Through the Gemini treasure mirror, Qin Yun can speed up the process of crafting sacred talisman tools. He can make 5 small throwing knives in an hour. Zi Qingsheng and Shui Tianzi, these two absolutely charming concubines, have about the same speed as Qin Yun. Refining the armor-suppressing sacred talisman tools doesn't require a lot of power. The runes are also not complicated, so it is relatively easy to refine. 2 hours later, Qin Yun, Zi Qingsheng, and the others had refined a total of 10 small flying daggers. He stopped what he was doing and gave his Gemini treasure mirror to Shui Tianzi so that she could make a sacred talisman tool by herself. Shui Tianzi and Zi Qingsheng each have a Gemini treasure mirror. They are making armor-suppressing sacred talisman tools by themselves. When Qin Yun left the heaven-leaping shuttle, Yang Shiryu has already returned. The white beam of light in the center of the heaven-suppressing gate is still there. Qin Yun is in the hall. He saw that Yang Shiryu's expression is relatively calm. There is a faint smile on her beautiful, jade-like face. He knows that nothing major has happened. Big Sister Yang, what's the situation over there? Qingyun asked. These guys from the heavens suppressing gate actually invited reinforcements. They said that they came from the upper realms. I really underestimated them before. I thought that they only had this much ability. Yang Sure, you said. From the upper realms? Sacred Desolate? Qingyun said. I don't know. In short, there are quite a few of them, and they're all very strong. They said that they have a way to deal with the heavenly armor. Yang Sure, you said. If nothing unexpected happens, they will go out to fight in the next few days and eliminate the heavenly guards outside. Then, they will go investigate the Heaven Burial Mausoleum. Qingyun and Yang Sure you are in the hall when they suddenly sense someone coming from outside. The Azure Dragon is here. Qingyun immediately went out to welcome him. Boss, the Divine Inscription Mountain is on its way. The Azure Dragon said, I can contact the Black Tortoise. He just sent me a message saying that the Heaven Creation City is also moving and rushing over. The Heaven Creation City is here as well? Qingyun is somewhat surprised. Yes, but I don't know when they will arrive. After the Azure Dragon finished speaking, he looked at the white beam of light in the middle of the heaven-suppressing gate and said, Those fellows might be from the ancient desolate. They're all very powerful. Qingyun said in shock, From the ancient desolate? The Azure Dragon nodded and said, That's what Old Bull Demon said. Old Bull Demon said that the situation in the ancient desolate is very complicated and there are many people with cultivations similar to the immortal desolate. If this group of people really came from the ancient desolate, then they must be very strong, right? Qingyun said, I just came over from that side and saw a few of them. They are indeed quite strong. They should be able to deal with those heavenly armor guards. The Azure Dragon said. Qingyun took out 10 throwing knives and handed them to the Azure Dragon. He said in a low voice, These throwing knives are sacred talisman tools. After they are shot out, they can temporarily disable the heavenly armor. You guys can use them at the critical moment. Really? That's great. The Azure Dragon said with a smile, Boss, I will give them to Black Rat by Zay and the others. Then I will take my leave first. Good. When the Divine Inscription Mountain arrives, we will return to the Divine Inscription Mountain. Qingyun patted the Azure Dragon's shoulder and said with a smile. After the Azure Dragon left, Yang Sure you said with some doubt, the Divine Inscription Mountain actually managed to call over Heaven Creation City. That's not strange, Qingyun said with a smile. Yu Qing and Princess Dark Knight have a very good relationship. The relationship between Long Yu Qing and Princess Dark Knight is indeed very good. One is the Heavenly Dragon God, and the other is the Moon Dragon God. The two of them are like sisters. That's right, Princess Dark Knight is in charge of the entire Heaven Creation City. Yang Sure nodded and said with a smile, Princess Dark Knight is also one of the 9 Sun Divine Maiden. I wonder what will happen when she sees Sister Kiru and the others. The princess has already seen Yuelon and Yuma, but she did not sense that they are 9 Sun Divine Maiden. This point made Qingyun very puzzled. Yang Sure you said, could it be that Yuelon and Yuma are special? Or could it be that the princess can only sense a part of the 9 Sun Divine Maiden? Qingyun shook his head and said, It might take them a lot of time to come over from that side. Heaven Creation City is so big. Along the way, they will definitely cause quite a commotion. Yang Sure you said, Not necessarily. If Heaven Creation City can fly over at an extremely fast speed and not be afraid of any attacks along the way, they will be able to arrive very quickly. Heaven Creation City is protected by the 9-Dragon Heavenly Origin Formation. They should be able to fly all the way. Qingyun said with a smile. In that case, they will arrive very soon. If Heaven Creation City came over, it will be a very strong force. Boom! The heaven-suppressing gate suddenly trembled violently. At the same time, urgent bell sounds rang out in the heaven-suppressing gate. The heaven-suppressing gate has been attacked, and it is a very strong attack. Qingyun and Yang Sure you walked out of the wooden building and looked at the sky. They saw a huge red beast tear through the thick red clouds and appear. The huge beast has a pair of thick and powerful arms. Holding a huge golden hammer, it bombarded the barrier of the heaven-suppressing gate. Although the heaven-suppressing gate has a powerful barrier, it is still unable to withstand the powerful bombardment and is violently trembling. Obviously, the appearance of this huge red beast is to interrupt the white light beam and prevent the upper realms from supporting the heaven-suppressing gate. Chapter 1932. The ancient bull demon could be considered to be homeless now. Their heaven-old race's archipelago's defense was not as good as the heaven-suppressing school's, and most of the archipelago was buried in yellow sand. The heaven-suppressing gate took them in. This was their home. If the heaven-suppressing gate was destroyed, they could only wander the Cloud Dragon mountain range. Therefore, the ancient ox devil truly wanted to protect the heaven-suppressing sect. This way, even if the Hoteon clansmen were to stay here, the other disciples of the heaven-suppressing sect would be more willing to accept them. That thing is so big, it's not easy to deal with. Elderly said, "We have to go out and stop them." The ancient ox devil's expression was grave as he looked towards the sky. Boom! The 10,000 feet tall, red beast swung its golden hammer down again. Although the flying island-like heaven-suppressing gate's huge city was protected by a very strong spirit formation barrier. After being struck by the huge hammer, it was unable to offset the powerful explosive power, causing the entire heaven-suppressing gate to violently tremble. The red behemoth had 4 feet that were as huge as pillars that supported the heavens. Its upper body had a pair of very long arms, and those abrupt muscles flowed with violent power, causing its red skin to overflow with a true purplish-red aura. The head of this giant beast was a very ferocious and terrifying human head. It was clear that this giant red beast was the same as the divine Cosmos evil dragon. They had both been nurtured using divine Cosmos amethyst. Not only was its body extremely powerful, but the divine Cosmos amethyst chi it released was also extremely berserk. Although this sort of giant beast was not as powerful as the divine Cosmos evil dragon, it would still put enormous pressure on the heaven-suppressing gate. Let's go ask the people of the higher realms and see if they're willing to take action. Elderly said. The white light that connected to the upper realm had already disappeared. It had been interrupted by the sudden appearance of the giant red beast. Qin Yun and Yang Shi were outside the wooden building. When they looked up at the sky, they could see the red beast's ferocious and terrifying head looking down at the heaven-suppressing gate. The giant beast's arms gripped the golden hammer tightly, injecting violent divine universe purple chi into it, causing the golden hammer to emit waves of purplish-red mist that turned into violent lightning. Roar! The giant red beast let out a deafening roar. The golden hammer in his hand was like a giant mountain as it smashed down once again. The rumbling sound was accompanied by tremors that filled the entire heaven-suppressing gate. Although the barrier of the heaven-suppressing gate blocked the attack once again, the people inside the heaven-suppressing gate were panicking. That was because the red behemoth's power was too terrifying. If it continued to attack the barrier like this, it would break sooner or later. Xiaoyun, let's go take a look at Old Bull. Yang Shuriwei pulled Qin Yun and flew towards Ancient Bull Devil. The Ancient Ox Devil's aura was very strong. He was ready to fight at any moment. Not long after, Elderly returned. He had just gone to meet those people from the upper realms. Elderly, what did the expert from the upper realms say? The Ancient Ox Devil hurriedly asked. They're not willing to fight. Elderly said with a frown. Why? Are they too weak? The Fire Qilin sneered. If this continues, the enchantment of the heaven-suppressing gate will be broken sooner or later. At that time, we will have no place to stay. The heaven-suppressing gate was a gathering place. If it was destroyed, they would not be able to gather together, and this Cloud Dragon mountain range would be dominated by the natural law divine realm. They said that protecting the heaven-suppressing gate is not their responsibility. They came here to enter the heaven burial mausoleum. Elderly said They also said that if we can't protect the heaven-suppressing gate, then there's no need for us and the heaven-suppressing gate to exist. The ancient ox devil said angrily, "Did those bastards really say that?" Elderly was also very anxious at this moment. He sighed helplessly and nodded. Ding Tianshun coldly snorted. "They don't even look at how strong the reinforcements sent by the natural law divine realm are. And it's in batches. It's already beyond what we can handle." That's right. The resources that the upper realms gave us are not much. Yet they want us to fight against those fellows from the upper realms. The people who are attacking the heaven-suppressing gate right now are definitely from the upper realms. The fire Chelan scolded in a low voice. Those bastards, they really aren't anything. As they spoke, the red beast once again hammered the barrier of the heaven-suppressing gate. The ancient ox devil said, "Elderly, let me fight. Even if I die, I'm not afraid." "I'll go out too," the fire Chelan said. "Old Hua, don't go out. If I'm done for, I'll leave the heaven-old race to you and old Ding." The ancient ox devil patted the shoulders of the fire Chelan and Ding Tianshun and said, "Lord Ox Devil, you want to go out too?" Ding Tianshun shouted, "No, there's no point in you guys going out to deal with someone that I can't beat. Let me test it out first." The ancient ox devil looked at Elderly and said, "Quickly let me out. If we delay any longer, the heaven-suppressing gate will be destroyed." Elderly nodded and hurriedly brought the ancient ox devil to the middle of the plaza. There was a formation in the middle of the plaza. The ancient ox devil stood in the middle of the formation. Elderly activated the formation, and the formation produced a powerful force that pushed the ancient ox devil into the air and out of the barrier. In the blink of an eye, the ancient ox devil arrived outside. Just as Qin Yun and Yang Shiyu flew over, they saw the ancient ox devil high up in the sky. The ancient ox devil roared, and his body suddenly became very huge, turning into a 3,000 feet tall giant. He had a pair of powerful ox legs and a huge and mighty ox head. His body and arms were like a human's. Waves of powerful saint power surged out from the giant ox devil's body. The strength of a sacred transformation stage expert was also displayed at this moment. After becoming bigger, the ancient ox devil's strength increased by a lot. Inside the barrier, Qin Yun could feel the powerful aura of the ancient ox devil. The ancient ox devil had fought. The people from the ancient heaven clan and the heaven-suppressing sect immediately cheered and continuously shouted for the ancient ox devil. "Old Ox is really strong," Qin Yun said with a smile. "He is now a lot more at ease. If the heaven-suppressing gate was breached, then the pressure on the heaven city that came over would be great. They might even be destroyed." After the ancient ox devil became big, the spiked mace in his hand also became very huge. He raised his hand and quickly condensed a lightning heavenly rune. The heavenly rune exploded with lightning, illuminating the dark blood-red sky. The lightning heavenly rune condensed into a ball and charged forward, transforming into a bull's head that was as huge as a mountain and directly greeted the red beast's ferocious head. First, there was a loud explosion, followed by the red beast's furious roar. The red beast was sent flying backwards and was unable to continue attacking the heaven-suppressing sect. Scram! The ancient ox devil rushed over and swung the mace in his hand at the red beast's neck. Bang! A muffled explosion sounded out. The lightning that jumped out from the huge mace surged out like a waterfall in all directions. The ancient ox devil had mastered the lightning heavenly rune. Furthermore, he was a very strong inscription do master. When he fought, he would use inscription do technique to form powerful lightning heavenly runes that erupted with even stronger power. After the red beast was struck by the mace, its body was once again sent flying. Its two huge arms danced wildly as it roared in anger. The ancient ox devil was still very strong. Seeing that he was able to suppress the red beast, everyone felt a lot more at ease. Ding Tianshun, Fire Chelan, and the others were very worried that their boss would not be able to return. Now they could feel at ease. The red beast roared ferociously. The golden hammer in its hand suddenly flickered with a golden light. Don't even think about counterattacking. The ancient ox devil's mace quickly smashed towards the red beast's hammer. Just when everyone thought that the ancient ox devil was about to send the hammer flying, a frightening scene occurred. After the red beast's hammer was attacked by the mace, it suddenly flickered with golden light and shot out a burst of violent lightning. The violent lightning struck the ancient ox devil's body, causing it to roar in pain. At the same time, the golden hammer turned into liquid and wrapped around the red beast's body. The surface of the red beast's body was wrapped up by the golden liquid. In the blink of an eye, it condensed into a huge golden armor. It is the heavenly armor. Everyone knows how dreadful the heavenly armor is. Not to mention its strong defense. When one hits the heavenly armor, formidable power will be absorbed, and it will also trigger the heavenly armor to release powerful lightning. Just now, the ancient ox devil was struck by the heavenly armor. After the red beast obtained the heavenly armor, its speed suddenly increased. It rushed towards the ancient ox devil and tightly hugged its body. After coming into contact with the heavenly armor, the ancient ox devil felt that the energy within his body is being absorbed by the heavenly armor. Therefore, he doesn't dare to continue releasing energy to stimulate the heavenly armor's absorption. The most frightening thing is that the heavenly armor is releasing waves of violent lightning that madly electrocuted the ancient ox devil. The ancient ox devil also uses lightning and can draw lightning heavenly runes. However, he is now being attacked by the lightning released by the heavenly armor and is screaming in pain. Elderly, quickly let us out. Fire Chilin anxiously shouted. Even if you go out, it will be useless. Elderly said, that red beast is very strong. Even the ancient ox devil can't beat it. You definitely can't beat it. But we have to go out and save him. Ding Tianchun said anxiously. The ancient ox devil's body has been bound by the lightning released by the red beast. He wants to shrink his body, but he can't control it. Suddenly, the red beast opened its mouth and bit the ancient ox devil's shoulder. The ancient ox devil, who has become huge, immediately roared in pain. At this time, more than 20 cold-faced youth wearing white clothes and carrying large swords walked over. Looking at their posture, it is clear that they are people from the upper realms. Friends from the upper realms, you all have sufficient strength. Please go out and help me deal with that red beast. Elderly is very respectful towards these people. He promptly walked over and very humbly begged. There is no need to go out. That ox is dead for sure. The youth in the lead looked at the two huge beings fighting in the sky and coldly said, why? Could it be that you can't beat that red beast? Fire Chilin said with frown. Young Master Lu, you are very strong. You can definitely deal with that red beast. Elderly hastily said, you're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.